Well, hey everyone, how you doing? And by everyone, I mean apparently no one. No one's here. Apparently, there's one person waiting though for the stream, so I wonder who that is. But I'm back after I think roughly a week. I think last time I streamed it was a bit late, so it wasn't a Friday. Oh yeah, we had our JJK thing. Drinking my water as per usual. The 22nd of November. And today's the 29th. That's 7 days. Today, again, we'll probably be talking, and when I say talking, I mean reacting to videos, concerning Jujutsu Kaisen, Blonde, which is a movie, and I Saw the TV Glow. And potentially, this might be a somewhat short stream, like maybe an hour or so, not particularly long. You know, I got things to do. I got a busy day. And I just want to chill, you know? I don't want to stream all night. But here we are. So spoilers, probably, for these three. So you're warned, I guess, if somehow you are arriving at this point in the stream and you're just curious about what we're going to be talking about. We can go through Twitter. You're late. Thank you. Sulfur is here, smiling. Hello. Creedon is saying so late. True. That is true. I think I was like 1 minute late. How much of a plan do you have, Twits? I don't know. Not much. There's like too much to do, so I will get through all of it. Well, not get through all of it. Then late. Okay. My goodness, we got a lot of tweets, including some stuff we need to talk about. This, oh my god, it's so funny. I showed this last time. I just find it so funny. JJK stuff, we talked about that, the whimsy. So all the JJK videos are out. I've done a few of them at this point. Let's see. I've got, so the part 1 review, the final, like part 2 review, and then I did a tier list as well for characters. So for some reason you're only familiar with EliteAri, not the Ordinary Ari channel, and you're a JJK fan, go watch these videos, I guess. Or at least the tier list, I guess, because you've probably seen these two, but that's that. A great tier list of the great, attractive anime women. We just love them so much. We have the JJK tier list I talked about. If I went to, oh yeah, I did a poll. Because, you know, I was thinking about Mushoku Tensei. I did Mushoku Tensei tier list as well, which we're going to briefly talk about in terms of raw power rankings for every Mushoku Tensei character. And then I was like, you know what? Reading light novels is like kind of cool. So, you know, maybe I should read another light novel. And I have the time, you know. This won't be this year. This will be like next year. Like maybe I could actually read a light novel. So I looked up a few and I was like, okay, what are the ones I'm interested in? What are the famous ones? What are the ones that are finished? You know, blah, 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 whatever. And I came up with these 4. This isn't necessarily a full list or anything. This isn't necessarily a binding poll in any way whatsoever. But I ran a poll, Ascendants of a Bookworm. Oh, that's also what triggered me, because I went and, because I was about to, like, I was preparing my digest notes, and I thought, man, what were my, like, videos like a long time ago? So I went and watched my Ascendants of a Bookworm review, and the review itself, oh my goodness, I'm just so thorough when it comes to reviews. What a great review it was. And my goodness, what a controversial review it was. All the comments were not happy with me because I compared it to Mushoku Tensei, which is very funny. But then I was like, man, I guess I read like the first like 20 minutes of that audiobook of the first book. So I thought, okay, maybe I'll just read this. So Ascendants of a Bookworm. Haruhi Suzumiya. So this is an anime where, I think I might have mentioned this like a few streams ago, but I almost watched, there's like a movie for this like franchise. And I almost watched it like 2 weeks ago because I was like, man, I don't really care about this. Let me just watch this movie. But then I talked to ChatGPT and I'm like, ChatGPT, can I watch this movie and like get it? Like, or do I have to like watch like stuff before it? And ChatGPT was like, you cannot see, absolutely, no matter what, do not watch this movie without watching the show first. I was like, okay, I guess I won't watch this movie. And then I looked it up the other day and apparently this is a light novel. So I had no idea. So maybe I'll read that. But it did win the poll, which is kind of crazy. I was not expecting this. Slime is here, getting 0 votes, as Sulfur just pointed out. That's very funny. The problem is, with light novels, realistically, if I was to ever do one, I would probably almost certainly do one that's finished. Like, I'm not going to do one that's continuing. I don't actually know if any of these are finished. I think Ascendants of a Bookworm is finished. I don't think the other 3 are. Reincarnated as a Slime is certainly not finished. ReZero is nowhere near finished, so no chance I'm reading that. But I don't know, funny, 0%. And then the Apothecary Diaries, which is an anime that I've heard is very, very good. It's also highly rated on Mal. Like, it's in like the top, 10, 20, something like that. So it's really highly rated. Apparently it's really good. So who knows, maybe I'll read that. But that was a poll. And I don't know, I doubt anyone here probably voted for it because, you know, we only got 6 votes. So anyway. Can we discuss your poor power scaling efforts? Absolutely not. This is not power scaling. This was me just thinking, wow, I guess it's here. Wow, what do I think? Which of these characters are the strongest? And that's what I came to in this video. Shorts, true. Should I join VC? Oh god, maybe we'll talk about Blonde and stuff before the TV go. I think I'll start with JJK stuff probably. When is the Fujimoto 1726 manga review coming out, Ari? Never. I have no interest in reading the manga until I've reacted to all the videos, or all the actual anime ones. So who knows? Probably in like a few weeks. We'll see. We love Fujimoto. I voted for Haruhi Susameya. I spell good. Okay. Dang, 0 votes for Slime. True. Bro, talk to ChatGPT. That is true. ChatGPT is a great thing to like talk to when you want to hear about recommendations on what you need to watch something, like what you need for the like prerequisites to watch something without getting spoiled. You gotta tell it. You gotta be like, absolutely do not spoil me. I don't want to know any spoilers. And it'll like give you answers. I'm like, this is lovely. I love how far technology has come, you know? Read Haruhi. Well, that is what the people said. Now is it finished? Like literally the only reason I wouldn't read this like right now or like next year, I guess, is if it's not finished. But we'll see. It's probably finished, right? It has to be. It's really old, right? No, it's not finished. Just read it present. I don't know. Why do they do this? Like, why does it go for so long? Like, I'm going to read, like, what, 13 books, and then I'm just done? And I'm like, oh, I guess I got to wait year to year now. No, thank you. But we'll see. Maybe I will. Maybe I'll still do it. But it is what it is. Wait, I haven't gone through all Twitter yet. Yeah, True Mushoku Tensei. I've watched a few things. A lot of things, actually. So JJK, of course, I finished. I saw the TV Glow movie. Love Lies Bleeding, another movie. This is something I've wanted to watch for a long time when I saw like a trailer a long time ago, but I finally watched it. Blonde, a famous movie that I have also had on my list for a long time. At least Kyle has been trying to pressure me to watch for a long time. And then I rewatched I Saw the TV Glow, purely because we were going to do a discussion, me and Kyle, and we did. And then I said, I'm going to stream tomorrow. And look at me now, I'm here. Less than 24 hours after this, so, you know, you should be very proud of me. And look at this cool Chainsaw Man, Madoka Magica fan art. Really cool. And then 37 minutes ago, I said streaming soon, and I guess I was correct. Now, what did that say? What does it say? Ask Google about this page. Okay, interesting. There's like a few videos I've randomly seen. I haven't really looked into any at all. So if anyone has JJK, Blonde, or I Saw the TV Glow edits, not edits, videos, then put them in the Discord, I guess. And there's also a bunch linked in the Discord I have to look at already. But yeah, my mouse just froze. That's scary. But we got a bunch. Why is he still coughing? I don't know. Apparently, you know, coughs can last a long time. It's a lot better than it was like a few days ago, at least. You should hear me, I guess, in the Chainsaw Man discussion from 2 weeks ago. That's when it was the worst. But I was also muting my mic, like, manually a lot to prevent anyone from hearing it. AI is the future. Well, AI is also the present, but it is probably also the future. Can we talk about EliteAri's great opinion on Blonde? True. And Bacon is here. Hello, hello. I feel like I had something to say about Bacon recently. What did I have to say? Oh, well, this is unrelated, but I know Bacon's a fan of this person. But Munker Man, put out his Chainsaw Man review. I've started watching it. It's very funny. You know, he's a great, he falls in, we love him. He's a great YouTuber, okay? He's fantastic. We love Munker Man. He's a little bit on the, he's definitely, he's a very, he's like a, did he say he's like a Mola fan or something? He's like very objective, like objectivity stuff. I don't know, but we love him. He's great. This is an interesting review. Yep. Why are there advertisements? I thought I had an ad blocker. I feel like there was also something else about Bacon that I was going to say. But you know what? Nothing's coming to mind, but I'm sure it will eventually. I sent so many videos, EliteAri. Thank you, yes. Link him edits, guys. That is true. No, I watch a lot of edits, but I only watch them on TikTok, so I probably won't be watching them here. I know Jockey Bacon is here. I saw the thumbnail. So funny. The thumbnail. The thumbnail for what? For the Mushoku Tensei, for the Munker. Oh, the Munker Man one. That's it. That is it's a great thumbnail. You know what? I did screenshot this. And I was going to send it in Kyle's Discord, and then I thought, I can't be bothered with this. People are going to talk about it, and I don't want to deal with that. So yeah. That damn thumbnail, bro. It's a fantastic thumbnail. It is pretty great. He's a little on the retarded side. Munker Man? I mean, not really. I think he seems like smart. Let's just say he's like, what is it? What is it? I don't know. You know what? We love him. He's great. He can be a little annoying. We'll say that, but we like him. This shit Munker? I don't know what that means. Munker man, true. Okay. So we have a few videos here. Ay. What have we got? I should remove the ones we've seen. What is this? Say thank you to Vinland Saga Jacobain. I'm sure we watched that already. My favorite depictions of God. Have we watched that? Why is that here?
Moru Oshi's.
Oh yeah, we did. This is Angel's Egg. That's right. We talked about that. Some ex machina thing. A programming language can't understand you. Why is that here? Okay. Why is painting unsettling? I guess that could be interesting. Oh yeah, I saw this. Life After Breaking Bad. Walt Jr. exposes the dark side of... This is just funny. I don't know. I watched a little bit of this already. How to write the strongest. Okay, so now we got the JJK videos, which are probably the videos I'm the most interested in watching immediately. So probably JJK. I guess I'm curious who has like, if people here, what fraction of you has seen the JJK manga, versus not. But I don't know. If you've seen the JJK manga, say I've read the manga, guys, in the chat. You're a little annoying, EliteAri. That is true, but I'm not as annoying as you, according to my audience. They really find you annoying for some reason. Do not search up manga or diagram on stream, Aria. Don't worry, I won't. I've read the manga, guys. Creedon has. I'm very interested in seeing JJK videos. Oh my goodness, look at this. We got 2 fans here. Wonderful. They'll say funny things. I'm sure they will. But also, let me just, before that, let me go through all the Discord videos we've got, which go back quite far. So we got this one.
After releasing the...
How Kenshi Yonezu made the most viral anime song ever. Oh, Iris Out. Okay. That's almost certainly not the most viral song ever, but okay. I mean, maybe it is in the TikTok age. Like, it was very popular on TikTok. That's not what I wanted. Why manga is better than anime? Okay.
Once you make it to the other side,
Is Japanese comedy actually funny? Okay, interesting. Oh my goodness. I mean, is there anything funnier than like Reagan going and punching the teleporter guy in like season 2? Is that Japanese comedy? I don't know. It's in an anime. What is this? I feel like we watched this, didn't we? Maybe not. Some trailer for something? I don't know. Okay. Why are there random trailers for stuff? Okay. Thank you, Creedon, I think, sent these. But I can't tell because the Discord, like, privacy mode is on, or streamer mode or whatever. Oh my god, we've got so many trailers. Holy. Another one. Scarlet. Alright, it's still going, guys. We've got a lot of videos here. What on earth is this? No AI will not doom us all. We have real AI problems to deal with instead. From Bacon. Should we watch this if Bacon is still here? I feel like I know this guy, and I feel like I don't like this guy. But I don't remember. Maybe I'm thinking of someone else.
My name is Carl, and you're on the internet.
I feel like I've seen some bad videos from him. But also, maybe not. Maybe I'm mixing up with someone else. Okay. Holy, I've never had this many tabs open on stream.
This is your last moment.
The worst thing AI is doing, no one is talking about? Wait, I might have seen this? No, probably not. 3 days ago, I definitely haven't seen this. I guess Bacon's on a big AI kind of craze at the moment. Okay, I guess we're not watching this one. Damn. My mouse froze again. Let me catch up on the chat. Your audience is retarded on God? No, we love my audience is fantastic. Idol from Oshinoko. Now the real question is, what on earth is Creedon talking about? Idol from Oshinoko. Well, I have absolutely no idea. I don't know anything about Oshinoko. Except for I think it's made by the same person who did Kaguya-sama, Love is War, I think. Or is that Spy Family? There's like some overlap. I don't know who's who, but there's something there. Best guy ever, true. We love movies, right? I love movies, yeah. AI will save the world, guys. Well, it could doom it as well. Who knows? My power just went out, EliteAri. That's terrible. Well, thank God you stayed around on the stream. You know, I know your priorities are good at least. This was a different AI Dubatake, and I wanted to see if they were any good. Okay. Second time tonight. Don't dox me. I can't make up my opinions until you see it. Okay. Maybe we'll start with the AI thing quickly. The song named Idol from Oshinoko was crazy popular like a year or 2 ago. Actually, that I understand. You were saying the viral thing. I probably know it because I think there was some Oshinoko song that I was like, oh, I know this. What is it called? What just happened? Why'd my screen just flicker? Idle. Watch the stream get instantly blocked, and then I have to like start again, and then I'm blocked for streaming for 2 weeks. But was the famous bit? Wait, I think I know this bit. I know it. Okay, we'll leave it at that. I know this song. I don't know it that well, but I know it. I've heard of it. All the blonde videos are going to be age restricted. Well, that's a sad thing. If only I had an account that I was logged in on. Oh my god. Wait, no, that was the same one. Okay. We're okay. This one's going to be fine.
This video is
okay, nice. Holy, okay, let me just open every single video. Why not? Okay. I watched the blonde movie. It's worse than I thought. Wow. And what is this? Why I love and hate Chainsaw Part 2. Lovely. Oh, and there's even more. Let's keep going. Why not? Kylo's linked the great reaction video to Megalopolis, which is something that I probably want to watch. I remember watching part of a trailer. Maybe it was on stream, and it looked really cool, so I'm interested in watching it. The reason Kylo's linked this is because he asked me the other day. He linked this and is like, do you think Blind Wave will ever react to Blonde? And I said, I have no idea. Or I think I said lol or something. Okay. My god. Kyle also put out a Claymore character tier list. And I have watched, I think, like half of this at least. And you know what? I have no idea what he's talking about. Because I don't really know anything about Claymore except what I've heard in their discussions and when I'm half paying attention. Anyway. Should be why I love Chainsaw Man Part 2. That is true. Chainsaw Man Part 2 is fantastic. What about that TV Glow video you were talking about? There's a lot of TV Glow videos. Oh my god, I literally just torrented Megalopolis 5 hours ago. Oh, no, it's terrible. We hate torrenting here. You should stream it on the official platforms. Okay. Should we start with the AI ones, and then we can go to JJK ones so Bacon can disappear because, you know, he doesn't want JJK spoilers, I'm sure. And then we can go to I Saw the TV Glow, and then we can finish with Blonde. But who knows if I'll get through all this. I definitely won't get through all of these. And I probably will not watch this entire video either. I'll probably watch like a minute and get triggered, and I'll be like, I can't be bothered. Narrow AI will not doom us all. We have real AI problems to deal with instead. So firstly, discourse surrounding whether AI is going to like end the world or not, I have absolutely no interest in. I feel like it could or it could not. And I have no real strong opinion, and I don't really care that much. So if that's about that, I'm probably going to be bored, but let's see.
After my last video about how the machine formerly known as weaponized ad tech had already taken over society, and how AI was making it worse, I had several people reach out to me and want me to talk about AI doomerism, so what the hell. I made a video a year ago called AI Safety is a Scam, and I stand by that video. But the narrative in the industry, and especially the online conversation, has changed. This book is the most recent catalyst for that change. It's called If Anyone Builds It, Everyone Dies.
Oh my
I
god.
don't have a paper copy of it, because I only collect physical books that I think I might reread in the future, and I didn't find enough value in this one to expect to revisit it. I'll talk about why in a few minutes. As is normal with me, I firmly disagree with both extreme arguments, and I think that the truth lies somewhere in between the AI will kill us all crowd and the AI will save humanity from itself crowd.
Wow, it was
So I expect
centrist
the
there.
diehards from both camps will hate this. RIP my comment section. But I think it's an important topic, and people need to be discussing it, not the hyperbole, but the immediate risks. Because, although for reasons I'll explain in a while, I think the idea of AI making all humans go extinct in the next few decades is ridiculous. I also think that if we leave it unregulated, we still might well be fine.
Just do the first AI video. I don't need you to see all of them. What is this the first one? Am I watching the right one? Bacon, say yes or no. I think this is the first one he sent, right? We'll see. Just reading off his AI script. True. Get the non-Kyle videos out of the way first. True, that's what I'm doing. And then Bacon said yes, the correct one. Okay, wonderful. I mean, just based on this intro though, I feel like I'm not going to be that interested. Because I don't really care. Like, if the world's going to end or whatever, I have no idea. Like, that this is such, like... Is esoteric the right word? Wait. Intended to be like the understood by small... Yeah, it's like so like abstract and like in the future, and like there's a million possible like trajectories and like the butterfly effect, and like so I have no idea. But okay.
This is United Bugs. My name is Carl. I've been a software professional since the dawn of the World Wide Web, and I'm here trying to make the internet a safer and more reliable place.
That's
Our
lovely.
video today begins with a discussion of the way that the AI doomer narrative is framed. It's the most sensational, least helpful, and least serious way. I hope this doesn't come as a shock of those to you watching, but it turns out that forever is a really long time. The AI doomer argument is not usually...
Okay, let's think. What's like the... Okay. I don't even know. Like I think the common AI doomer argument is that it's like, I'm not like well versed on this, so I don't really care about it. So my naive understanding would be, we get to a world where we rely entirely on AI for decisions because they excel, like they exceed us in terms of decision making. And because of that, they are in fully control of our destiny and they can do whatever they want with it. So if there's like a nefarious goal that we don't understand, which is entirely like probably likely because they're going to be more intelligent than us, then we have no control and they could exterminate us this way. That's like, I'm assuming that's like the common like doomer extreme argument. I feel like a more realistic one is that it's like AI becomes like somewhat pretty like more intelligent than us slightly maybe, or like similar comparable intelligence to us, and so people like rely on it a lot. And if people rely on it a lot, then maybe the or people not actually no, that's not probably it. I imagine it'd probably be like a misinformation thing, right? Like if bad actors take a hold of AI to kind of influence opinions because people trust it, and there's like a large amount of you being bombarded with a lot of misinformation or something could probably destroy the world, like somewhat. I don't know. Anyway.
Phrased this way. But what it boils down to is this. It is indisputably true that there's a 100% chance that humanity will go extinct eventually. And if there's even a...
This feels like it's almost certainly not true, right? Like what if we invent like time travel and go back in time? Like couldn't we live infinitely like that? It's not 100% chance, right? But okay.
Small chance that AI will be the cause of that. We need to take that risk as seriously as nuclear weapons right effing now. I'm not going to engage with this framing. I consider it sensationalist and disingenuous. And worse, it can be a get-out-of-jail-free card for people that arguably really ought to be in jail. But more on that in a while. I think the easiest way for me to explain my point of view is by analogy to recent history. So let's set aside the idea of death from AI.
This guy's a video AI, right? He's not real. No, this seems like a real guy. My thoughts exactly. I'm not well versed on it. I don't care about it. Brother, it's your job and you're watching a YouTube video about it. Firstly, Miller's really good at triggering me. This is absolutely not my job. I'm not a philosopher who cares about like the state of the entire world when it comes to developing AI. Secondly, I don't work on LLMs or anything like that, and I'm not an expert in terms of LLMs whatsoever. So yeah. How far do you think we are off from AGI? Do you think LLMs will get us there? I have absolutely no idea. Firstly, again, like I said, don't come to me like don't come to me as an expert in terms of like LLMs, because I'm definitely not. But I have no idea. AI could, for all I'm aware, AI could just suddenly stop improving tomorrow. Or we could be the best we're at the moment, or it could keep improving. But who knows how far the AI is going to go to keep improving, and who knows like how many leaps are required in terms of actual innovation to kind of get there. No one knows. If someone says they do know, then they're lying. So I don't know. Yeah. Wait, he's talking about time travel? He said the human species is 100% chance to go extinct. And I assume he's talking about because the universe is eventually going to be extinct or whatever, because like all the atoms will like spread apart or whatever, and therefore humans will be extinct. What if we invent time travel? You're back in time, and therefore the universe isn't extinct. I don't know. Bros, you watch too much Doctor Who? That is true. I love Doctor Who. Well, Miller's messages are hidden. Well, I see them now. Sort by live, not top, you know? You don't think about any ethics when doing your job? I think about the ethics related to my job, you know, not the ones that are not related to it. EliteAri is an expert. He answers all AI questions. That is true. Okay, anyway.
AI for the moment, and let's instead consider death from above. In the mid-1990s, we discovered the Chicxulub impact crater near the Yucatan Peninsula in Mexico, about 1,300 kilometers from where I'm sitting. It's the remnants of an asteroid impact that kicked off the mass extinction event 66 million years ago that killed all the dinosaurs, along with 75% of all life on Earth. Accordingly, since then, we've spent maybe $3 or $4 billion worth of time, effort, and technology on creating a database of near-Earth asteroids, figuring out how to track them, created a program called the Double Asteroid Redirection Test, or DART, where we use that tracking data to send a spacecraft to one of the asteroids, and then use ground-based radar from Earth and optical detectors on board the spacecraft to crash the spacecraft into the asteroid, and then to determine the effect of the impact.
It reminds me of that movie, Don't Look Up. Oh my god.
This was the first step in figuring out how we might be able to defend ourselves from an asteroid, should we detect one that's going to hit us. Over the same time period, though, we've spent 100 times that much money on similar kinds of databases, tracking technology, ground-based radars, onboard sensors to detect and avoid a different kind of collision, not with asteroids, but with aircraft. Now, airplane crashes are never, ever going to be an extinction-level event. No more than a few thousand airplane-related fatalities have ever occurred in any year in history. So why do we spend so much more money and effort on them than on asteroids? It's because we know that people are going to be killed in airplane crashes this year. And
yeah, it's like I'm assuming it's like what, like the probability of something happening times by the impact it has is probably what you should be based on, not just like the actual impact or whatever.
Every year, at least 100 people have been killed in crashes every year of my lifetime. And reducing the immediate guaranteed harm to people who are alive right now is far more important than it is to worry about the much smaller probability of the much more devastating harm from a Chicxulub-sized asteroid strike. And the public would never let the aerospace industry just get away with convincing us that the plane crashes are just an inevitable result of technological progress, and there's no need to regulate airline safety. My problem with the industry-led AI safety movement in general, and the if anyone builds it, everyone dies school of thought in particular, is that AI is causing real, measurable, physical, and economic harm to real people right now. Society only has a limited amount of time, effort, money, and attention available to worry about AI, and we're being asked, goaded even, to spend virtually all of that effort on AI's equivalent of the giant asteroid and to pay no attention at all to the damage it's currently doing in its equivalent to plane crashes. There are 3 side effects of this attempt to scare us with AI's giant asteroid. 1, it makes the AI industry seem to be much more important, impressive, and impactful than it really is. 2, it distracts us from talking about the immediate harm being done. And 3,
I mean, you know what? I feel like I almost certainly just agree with all this. Like, I do think I think the world is big enough and enough people care about AI at this point that there probably are going to be enough people who dedicate their lives to, like, preventing the doom of the world, like, in this apocalyptic, like, scenario where, where I think it's, like, I don't know, I think it's fine. Like, the way where, like, it is probably more important to, like, focus on the high probability issues that we currently have and focus less on, like, the low probability ones that, like, might not even happen. I probably agree with that. Just because of how many people are interested in AI at this point, there's going to be some fraction of people working on the low probability one anyway, right?
it perpetuates the fiction that the AI is an entity that's capable of fault. These 3 things are fantastic for people in the industry. They want the media, business, and investment communities to keep thinking that AI will be so disruptive that it will be worth trillions of dollars in just a few short years. That way, they're justified in burning through all the money they're currently setting on fire and putting in their pockets. They want the only metric for AI safety to be, don't let the AI kill us all, so that every day the world doesn't end as a success, whether they did any actual work or not. And regardless of how many African-American men with the last name of Williams in Detroit or New York were falsely imprisoned due to incorrect facial recognition matches, how many bicyclists were run over by self-driving Ubers in Tempe, Arizona, or how many teenagers harmed themselves after being convinced to do so by sycophantic chatbots. But the thing the industry wants more than anything else is for us to think of the chatbot as a culpable entity with intentions and agency instead of a piece of software that must not break the law. When Volkswagen was caught using software to violate environmental regulations...
I guess, like, I mean, this all seems fine, but, like, I guess I'm not up to date on what all the AI, like, all the big AI companies think about this stuff, but do they really, like... My assumption would be that within these companies, there's probably 2 teams, is my guess. There's probably, like, I'm know for a fact, there's, like, the super alignment teams, which are, like, focused on, like, when AGI becomes, like, super intelligent or whatever and trying to align it with our interests. Like, I'm sure there's a team of people like that. But it's probably also, like, an AI safety team or whatever, which is probably based on, like, trying to get the AI to operate safely in, like, the modern day, right? Like, I don't feel like these are 2. I don't think it's, like, one thing where it's, like, all the AI companies are only focused on the super alignment and there's no, like, current safety stuff. I feel like it's a mix. At least that's my understanding. And again, I don't know too much about how these companies operate or anything. I don't know. It's an interesting framing to think that, like, they only focus on one aspect of this. And I guess the examples he brought up are, like, 3 very distinct ones, all done by very different industries and companies. He talked about the, like, bias in terms of training sets and stuff when it comes to, like, cameras and stuff. That's, like, a completely, like, separate from, like, the companies like OpenAI and Microsoft and all of them who are working on LLMs. And all of that is, like, what was the other example he gave about the Teslas and stuff, which is also obviously a very completely separate industry in terms of, like, you've got all the, like, Waymo and Tesla and all of them, like, working on that, and they're all, like, very different. Like, it's not just, like, I thought, like, when we're talking about, like, AI in terms of, like, super intelligence and, like, the big dangers there, the companies that are, like, the culprits of, like, maybe fostering that would be the ones working on LLM specifically, right? Like the OpenAIs, the Microsofts, the DeepMinds, like, those companies, right? XAI. It's interesting to, like, lump them all together. I don't know. It is what it is. But also, I don't know how interesting the rest of this video will be, but we'll see. Anyway, do you think I don't know who Madara. Huh? What is this? Do you think Madara or Fujitora has stronger asteroids? Is this like a One Piece thing? Madara. Oh no, it's a Naruto thing? It looks like a Naruto character? I have no idea. Oh, excuse me. Naruto on God. Boring. True. I would like it if a world-ending asteroid was guaranteed to hit in a month, because then we can stop procrastinating and have fun, but we'd never know how Chainsaw Man Part 2 ends. Oh my god, I guess maybe Fujimoto would, like, stop procrastinating and we'd finally get an ending to it. AI sucks. True. Literally, how could some random prevent the doom of the world? Like, no one in power who can do... What? Wait, literally, how could some random prevent the doom of the world? Like, no one in power can do anything cares? I don't know. It's an interesting question. I feel like, yeah, like, the more important thing is to align, like, human interests, right? So that we can all focus on, like, preventing the end of the world. But in the analogy of, like, the preventing the asteroid being destroyed, the idea is that you'd have, like, some people who are specifically focused on that, like a small team, and then when you have that small team and the danger actually happens, then they step up and inform the rest of the world, and then people start caring when it's, like, right in their face. But you have all the preparation from that special team, right? That's what I would guess. Don't worry, EliteAri, you might not know these things, but Mill the Killer does. That is true. Thanks, Kyle. I actually work in the AI field now. I'm sure he does. Does your wife work there too? Okay. Yeah. Do we really finish this? Do I want to spend any more time on this? I don't know. Let's finish this section. Why not?
By detecting and cheating on exhaust emissions tests. There was never any question about whether or not the vehicle acted alone. 4 employees were convicted, 2 were sentenced to multiple years in jail, and the other 2 were given suspended sentences. The AI industry has managed to sell us a different narrative. Character.ai was caught running and hosting software they developed to impersonate licensed therapists by presenting stolen credentials belonging to an actual therapist in Maryland.
Wait, what? What did they do? Wait.
Years in jail, and the other 2 were given suspended sentences. The AI industry has managed to sell us a different narrative. Character.ai was caught running and hosting software they developed to impersonate
Running and hosting software developed to
licensed therapists by presenting stolen credentials belonging to an actual therapist in Maryland.
Oh, I understand what he's saying. He's saying like, for example, you're talking to ChatGPT and you're like, "Are you a therapist?" And it's like, "Yeah, I'm a therapist. Here's my license." And like, because it's like it gives you like a example license. That's pretty crazy. Okay.
It wasn't reported that way. The story said, quote, "A therapist chatbot on Character AI said it was licensed and certified by the state of Maryland. When the reporter looked up the license number they were given and contacted the actual therapist who had earned the license, she responded, quote, that a chatbot is posing as me is shocking and really concerning," unquote. Compare that to the reporting from Volkswagen's fraud. Quote, "Vehicles were equipped with software that was used to cheat on emissions tests." Nobody would have thought to say that the Volkswagen emission system was, quote, posing as a vehicle with certified nitrous oxide output. But if Volkswagen had stuck a chatbot in their onboard computer, their defense could have been, "Hey, we hate that our virtual mechanic chatbot hallucinated the wrong instructions to send to the fuel injectors just as much as you do. But technological progress always had a few bumps. We'll be sure and add a disclaimer in a future software update. And if you don't think someone's going to try that, I have a bridge I'd like to sell you." Sigh, while we're on this topic, I guess this is as good a time as any, so I'm going to take a few minutes of personal privilege now. I promise it's relevant, but feel
Wait. I want to go through this. What's the personal stuff?
free to skip to the next chapter if you don't care. So I have one tattoo. I've had it for a
What?
little less than a year or so.
Oh my God. Is he going to tell us what it is? I'm so curious what it is.
Channel viewers have noticed and asked me about it, but I've been waiting for the right time to bring it up. I'm putting a picture here on
Thou shalt not make a machine to counterfeit a human mind. Oh my God. He's like dedicated to like, no AI. This is lovely. Okay.
screen because it's hard to line up with the camera.
It's Frank Herbert. That's the like Dune guy, right? Or something. Not Burbot, Herbert. Yeah, Dune. Okay.
Positioned so that I can read it on the inside of my left wrist as a reminder to myself. It's a quote from my favorite book, Dune, in the typeface used in this paperback that I've had for 40-ish years and have read probably that many times. It says, "Thou shalt not make a machine to counterfeit a human mind." The emphasis in the book, typeset in bold, is on the word human. But to me, the important word is counterfeit. An AI can be fine, helpful even, useful even. I'm never going to advocate for doing away with all computers the way they did in the Dune universe. That being said, when someone ships or hosts an AI that appears to the public as if it was human, or even appears that it might be human, to me, that should be fraud. Because that is taking advantage of our innate understanding of how we, as humans, have related to each other for millennia, in order to trick us into believing that we are being treated with the deference, respect, and empathy that society demands fellow human beings extend to one another, when in fact, our treatment will be entirely devoid of those characteristics. The AI industry has tricked us all into thinking about
I don't even know what he just said. Wait.
our innate understanding of how we, as humans, have related to each other for millennia, in order to trick us into believing that we are being treated with the deference, respect, and empathy that society demands fellow human beings extend to one another, when in fact, our treatment will be entirely devoid of those characteristics. The AI
What did he just say? Wait.
in the Dune universe. That being said, when someone ships or hosts an AI that appears to the public as if it was human,
Okay, let's break it down. So when someone's like, ChatGPT is a human, and then what? Okay.
even appears that it might be human, to me, that should be fraud.
Okay, if you say ChatGPT is a human, that's fraud. If it is like really smart or whatever.
Because that is taking advantage of our innate understanding of how we, as
It's taking advantage of, okay, our innate understanding.
humans, have related to each other for millennia.
What does that mean? Our innate understanding of how, what does that mean? How do we have an innate understanding of how we relate to humans in millennia? I don't even know what that means.
In order to trick us into believing that we are being treated with the deference,
In order to trick us, that we're being treated with a deference. What is deference? Respect and stuff, okay.
respect, and empathy that society demands fellow human beings extend to one another, when in fact, our treatment will be entirely devoid of those characteristics. The AI industry has tricked us all into thinking
I don't know what he's saying. I know it seems like a fine video. I'm not too interested, but cool. I hope that helps Bacon. I have formed an opinion. I know you probably won't. Anyway. Whoa, it's like star emojis? What is this? That's crazy. Okay. Does your wife work there too? My wife is the CEO of a very familiar company to you. Oh my goodness. Familiar, you want to admit it, Elite? Huh? So you want to admit it? You were wrong about Blonde. EliteAri agrees with me. 2 versus 1. Did Ari like it? And Kyle put a bunch of stars. Glad you like the pro-life movie. Good luck with your wives. True. There's. I haven't even thought about if it's like pro-life or anti-life or whatever. I ain't marrying no bitch. Fuck Jesus. This guy looks like King Kong. I don't even know what that is, so I'm not gonna say that. What is actually what is that? Sounds like a wrestler or something. Oh, it is. It actually is a wrestler, King Kong Bundy or something. You know what? I guess he kind of does a little bit. Actually, I guess, yeah, a little bit. That's very funny. I just saw, got back from seeing both Wickeds with my wife. You two should watch too. I will be watching Wicked before the end of the year. Just like I will be watching One Piece before the end of the year. He main event at WrestleMania 2. True. Dune is mentioned. Because for chicks, I'm a man. O Miller. Oh my god, I hate when I bring up the menu on the chat. Okay. Something chose shop burned down, but if that means damn that emoji, oh my god, I'm sad. That's like the first cry moment. Alright, we're getting spoilers for like One Piece or something. AI is taking advantage of our emotions and empathy. Maybe. My opinion has been created. Thank you, I'm glad. Her fetus talks to her. No, it doesn't. If you're talking about blonde, rip King Kong Bundy. True. Did he die? Oh my, a wrestler died? That's crazy. Oh my god. That reminds me of the Montreal Screwjob, which is the one wrestling thing I know. I don't remember. Not that anyone died there. What is this? The worst thing AI is doing. Can we watch like 2 minutes of this? Why not?
This is your last moment to get in on the Labyrinth Kickstarter. The last 72 hours before it's gone.
Oh god, the 2 minutes is gonna be an intro.
Let's go YouTube. You plug in a prompt and it'll.
Oh wait.
To AI comment system. Ryan Cahill. Plus, I'm writing for it too. Red and Blue from OSP. So many other amazing authors you deserve to read. All in this beautiful collection of sci-fi and fantasy stories. Link down below, but time is running out. All right, I gotta tell you something. A while ago, YouTube.
What is that microphone? Is that like a shotgun mic that he's like holding? Is that like a bit or is that? Wait.
It's running out. All right,
What is this? That's crazy. That's like if I was holding this like microphone here. I was like holding it up. That's crazy. Okay.
Gotta tell you something. A while ago, YouTube rolled out a creator AI comment system, which allows me to just click a button and it.
Huh? I had no idea this was a thing. It just replies automatically. Why would you want to do this? That's very funny.
It'll reply for me, and it even kind of sounds a bit like me, which I've seemingly trained on my words. How convenient, how wonderful, just what I've always wanted.
I would be very surprised if it was trained on our words. That'd be kind of crazy, but wow, okay, interesting.
A way to trick people into thinking they're talking to me. And like, yeah, it would be easier to use to fully capitalize on that parasocial relationship, to have an AI which is trained to push people to buy my books. They're up there, by the way, but I won't use it. Not to mention the entire AI.
Wait. What is it saying? Like, by the way, the link to the Discord in the description says it's either expired or invalid. Anyway, thanks for letting me know. I'll get that fixed. Thanks for the heads up. I'll look into it. Yeah, it's like fine. Okay. I guess I was more against this because I thought it was like more generic things. Like it'd be like, thank you for watching, like stuff like that. But if it's stuff like this, I think it's okay.
Even kind of sounds a bit like me, which I've seemingly trained on my words.
I'd be shocked if it was trained on our words.
Entire AI content creation system you probably didn't even realize it has. I'm not kidding. You plug in a prompt and it'll
I do know this, and this is terrible. Like, whenever I've tried to do this, I'm like, this is not good.
Whole script ideas, title concepts, even thumbnails for you. It's in the first page of the Creator Studio under quote, inspiration, because I really want you to use it. I bet you didn't even know it existed, and it's probably behind a bunch of channels that you know. I won't be using that either.
What the fuck is this piece of shit?
At the same time, YouTube itself is laboring under the growing strain of AI-generated content, AI thumbnails, AI scripts, AI voiceovers, AI upload schedules, whole AI channels. Some of them you might not even realize are AI. You've probably watched a video over the last while without knowing it is. Not because they're good, but because they're good enough, and because they're incredibly difficult to weed out. And if people don't care to, then companies won't either. I am morbidly fascinated by people who use AI to write fiction, and I came across this one comment in a community of people who do use it, which genuinely baffled me. Reading, in the past, writers have mixed plot and prose in their minds because to get to the plot, there was no choice but to write prose. But with AI, we can separate plot and prose. Plot is the
What the hell is prose? Written or spoken language in its ordinary form. Oh, I understand. Okay. Okay, so they're saying that like you have ideas and you're using the AI to take those ideas and put it in the form of a book. Whereas in the past, this is actually, I would probably agree with this. This is a good use of AI. I'm curious how he's going to argue against this, actually.
message and prose is the medium. Plot is 10 times more important than prose, yet without AI.
Huh. Well, I guess I disagree with this bit. I think prose is very important. Okay, you know what? I take it back. I don't agree with this person. Okay.
Writing prose took 90% of the time. Prose here being like the actual choice of words and writing out the sentences itself. I've never spoken to a writer who views writing prose as like an obstacle to getting to the story, an obstacle to getting to the plot. And of course, every writer I know has a million ideas for the plot of books that they could write. But I can see why using AI would be easier in a weird sense. Not a few months back, a company launched with the pitch of being the Netflix of AI. And I actually joined the community to see like what they were doing and how it worked because I subject myself to that. And basically they trained an AI on, I think, Family Guy and Rick and Morty and Bob's Burgers, all these animated shows with kind of a similar look to them in a sense. And they can generate entire scenes now. You can put in your prompt prompt into the what is the setting and the characters, who they are, including real people like Obama and Eminem, and then you say if they have props or not.
It's interesting. Okay.
And you describe the action and kind of what they say, and then it just does it.
Let's dance, baby.
They then give it some feedback, it changes.
I wonder how much of this is AI. If I were to guess, it's probably just the voice. Is like the visuals AI?
They say, and then it just does it.
Let's dance, baby.
They then give it some feedback, it changes. But the funniest thing to me is that in their system, in their Discord, there's a button when you generate one of these scenes which allows you to get AI feedback or to AI crazify it to make it even weirder and different.
You need discipline, a button called terminate. The human touch, let me tell you, discipline enhances results.
So you've already got a system here where AI can generate a scene and then give itself feedback and then modify itself based on its own feedback. To be clear, it's not any good. The jokes are never funny and it looks awful, but thousands of people are doing this and seemingly having a lot of fun doing so. To me, it's not all that different to people who are using the AI writing software to, generate whole chapters of their book, and then they go in and they give some suggestions and they edit it, and then they let the AI rework it based on their feedback. And all of these people seem to be getting a real creative kick out of it in their own way. And so you might look at that and you might put aside all the other issues with AI software and you might just shrug and go, okay, fine, whatever, let them do it. The pitch of AI with all of these things in creative spaces is that you only have to do the little part of the process that you want to do, and then AI will take care of the rest of it. And I get the raw emotional appeal of that. I love creating board games, big, complicated, creative board games.
Okay. I think I get the gist of this video. It's somewhat interesting. I think this is probably actually more interesting than the previous video. Anyway, hey guys, this is Miller's wife. You guys are so sweet to him. Thanks for entertaining him. Wow. Oh my god, stop, babe. That's so embarrassing. Wow, this reminds me of... Actually, never mind. I don't know enough about the lore to comment. And when I say lore, I mean the Kyle Entertainment lore in terms of the history of his chatters and stuff. This must be what this must be what the OnlyFans girls use to talk to me. True, bro. Prose is like the writing part. Well, prose is like the taking the ordinary language and put it in the form of a book, right? It would be like if I gave dot points to AI and I was like, AI, can you write this into a nicely a lyrical sounding paragraph or something? That would be the prose conversion, right? Never read a book. That is true. I've never read a book. Oops. I didn't listen to audiobooks. That's the best prose you'll read all day. You want to hear some good prose? Go to this video right here, okay? Where is it? What is Rebellion trying to say? Now this, actually, it's probably not very good prose. What is my best prose? My best, oh, that was some interesting way of phrasing stuff and writing and all that. Have I ever made good prose in my life? Let's see. In the Norn video, I remember I used the letter P at the start of 4 different words. And it was great. And I rewatch that every now and then. I'm like, man, what a great way of writing that. So I think that was pretty cool. But beyond that, who knows? I think my Mikasa video had something interesting, but that was such a long time ago. It's probably a terrible video. It was the Ymir section. Wow, let's watch an old EliteAri video, guys, okay? Just the Ymir section to see how good writing is,
Parents burnt her village, cut out her tongue, and caused unfathomable trauma that tormented her entire immortal existence. And through the alternate history panel in the final chapter of Attack on Titan, we see the life that Ymir wished she could have lived. A life where she was able to move on from her love for the wicked king Fritz. Through her saddened eyes as she conjures an image of this wishful past, we learn that she is someone who regretted the steps she took through.
Terrible. I take it back. Anyway. The garden was green and the dirt was wet. That is true. That's the best prose you'll read all day. I am a stick. Okay, interesting. Comment on the lore. Wasn't there I don't know. I'm not going to comment. I can't see Miller's messages so sad. Why can no one see Miller's messages? What does that mean? Why am I the only one who can see it? I haven't muted him or anything. I don't even know how to mute him. Wait, let me check. Wait, channel... Okay, I can see... Oh, wait, what happens if I click Miller's channel activity? I wonder what that does. Oh my god, I can see literally every comment that Miller has ever typed. Holy... Damn, it keeps going back and back. Okay. But he has 0 deleted messages, 0 timeouts, and 0 hides. So I don't think he's muted or anything right now. Anyway. Comment on the law, pushing P, writing is difficult, make more edits. Alright, true, I should. I almost made an edit a few weeks ago, but then I made the Manga video instead. Can we react to JJK now? I think we are probably going to do that now. I'm trying to make an edit right now, Greedon. Hi, Bacon. Miller told me you really like Avatar, so you're my favorite. I'm excited to see it, K. I'm excited to see it, K. Okay. It's called Cool Girls MP4. It's about singers, though. Comment on the lore. No. The phrase, I am a stick, is a famous line from the book series The Stormlight Archive by Brandon Sanderson, referring to a scientist stick... To a sentient... Wait, did I read it wrong? I think a sentient stick. The character Shellan encounters. Wow, thank you. Why you not respond to my high effort JJK comments? Where are they? Oh wait, in the video, Miller did actually respond. Actually, we could. All right, if we're gonna talk about JJK, we can talk about the comments on that video. Bro, you know the one thing I've learned since like finishing JJK and like after my like tier list and stuff, people don't like Kusakabe. That's crazy. People like make fun of him and like think he's like a jerk or something. Kusakabe is like one of the best characters in JJK. It's kind of crazy. Anyway, so JJK manga spoilers, guys. We're going to talk about JJK now. But why don't we just go through all the comments here that I haven't replied to? We'll go with this and then we'll go on the next one, the character tier list as well. So chapter 150 was fixed in the volume. So the version you read was just updated, but Geged like died that week and pumped it out. And it is true that Geged just refused reusing the memory joke, but being genuine with it. You know, this memory thing is like me and Heath like going back and forth, circle jerking about like how terrible this is. Like I think it happens in like every video. Like I think I comment on it. He like comments on it too, and then like we're like, yep, that's right. It's really dumb. So true. Being genuine with it is one of the most confounding moments in anime. It feels like such an obvious setup to Yuji having some interesting power, but it's it just is real and played serious the second time it happens. I think I was still waiting for the pin to drop on Yuji having memory powers till around the end of the manga just because I thought it was so weird. That is true. Very true. I just finished the video. I wrote about like 500-word comment with 12 minutes. While 12 minutes in, then changed my mind and deleted it. And I still have some thoughts now, but I'm too lazy to go back and find what you said that made me want to comment about how wrong you were or how this is actually that way because the thing that happened in this chapter. So yeah, I guess I'll say that the JJK movie, a Zero movie, and maybe something in season 2, Geto says there were only 4 people recognized as special cases. I did remember this actually afterwards. It was like Yuki, Geto, Yuta, and Gojo, right? Wait, I think Yuta was there, but I think those were the ones, right? 4 people recognized as special grade sorcerers and 16 for cursed spirits. I don't remember this. And 4 were... Oh, wait, here we go. Gojo, Geto, Yuta, and Yuki. Cursed spirits. We got Dagon, Jogo, Hanami, Mahito. I mean, there was that one special grade that we saw back in like season 1 of the anime. That's 5. And that's it, because I cannot think of a single other cursed spirit in this whole thing. I guess maybe the smallpox deity or whatever. Yamato no Orochi is a Japanese mythology thing that has nothing to do with Jujutsu Kaisen. It existed IRL for over 1,000 years. In the JJK universe, though, Sukuna might have actually had some interaction with Yamato no Orochi or something related to that, which would be cool. Yes, that is true. That would be super cool. There's also just a lot of other references to real-life mythology and folklore and history in JJK to Buddhist stuff, Shinto stuff, and Indian Hindu stuff. Cool. We love that. Kenjaku, yeah, this person just like spoiled me. Kenjaku is Yuji's mother. We do get a confirmation on this later. He was experimenting again, much like he did with Choso and all the death paintings 100 years ago. The visuals were a bit confusing because the stitches on his forehead were sealed into scars since he was a vessel for ages and took birth to Yuji. And then someone replied, or he replied, also explains how Yuji has superhuman strength even before eating the fingers. True. Well, not really. The superhuman strength comes from the Sukuna half, right? I would assume. We love you, Ari. True. And then Kyle says, EliteAri, I've got no idea what you're talking about, brother. True. L Bacon. True. He ditched me. Can you believe it? And then Miller's comment. Here we go. So fun seeing you realize how hilariously bad JJK is. It is. You know what? I wouldn't say it's hilariously bad, but it is funny. Like it's a funny story. The Maki versus Zenden clan bit is so terrible. That is pretty true. It is probably the most forgettable part of the story as well. Just wrap up the entire Zenden plotline in a few chapters completely disconnected from everything else and make everyone in the family a complete jobber. This is one of the 3 great Jujutsu families or whatever. That is probably true. Now the anime could make this better, but like in the manga, it wasn't the best. But it is certainly not the worst part of the JJK, which is when the Americans go in, okay? That is, without a doubt, some of the most confusing, boring, bad, like, tonally inconsistent stuff I've read ever, and I don't like it ever, like, at all, one bit. Same with the principal chapter where he dies. Feels like he only has his intro chapter and then his death chapter, and that's the entire character. So strange. I feel like that. To me, this is almost certainly not true. Like we get enough of the principal. Like we get the early stuff with him meeting Yuji. Then we get him in the flashbacks with like Geto and Gojo and stuff. Now maybe in the manga it was less. Like they expanded a lot potentially in the anime. And I don't know if Miller's seen the anime, so maybe I'm like bringing that knowledge in or whatever. We get a lot of the principal in those flashbacks. And then also we see him throughout the Shibuya incident, at least in the anime a bunch. And then I felt really sad when he died. Like it did get to me emotionally, so it worked. I love how they hype up fighting the lawyer guy. Then Megami versus Reggie is after that and longer, even though it's less exciting and important in every way. That is true. I'm pretty sure this is everything you get regarding Yuji's mother and Kenjaku. This was not true. We got more. But it was more like confirmations, like characters saying stuff. I don't know. Just connect the dots slow. It's a pretty stupid thing to put in a story. I liked it. Like I don't really have an issue with this. I think it's like fine. Not sure if you realize, but the girl who Kenjaku wakes up and leads outside the bar is one of Yuji's friends from his club in school in chapter 1. So I did read this, and I do remember acknowledging this and being like, man, that never crossed my mind, and I do not remember them. However, I thought I did realize that the guy who like shows up, the guy who is like Yuji's friend from school, I did recognize him as like someone from school. Or maybe I just like pieced it together. I'm like, this has to be like someone from his school. Like who else would it be that like recognizes Yuji? And yeah, the Choso and Toto similar dialogue is terrible writing, completely unrelated and different concepts. That is true. I forget if it's stated outright, but don't expect anything big with Sukuna's Fuga fire thing. That is true. His curse technique is kitchen theme, so he can do cutting in with a knife and like a stove. That's all it was, lol. I was convinced he could steal the curse techniques and it was all different or something, no, but nope, lol. It is true. Why do we have those like black squares when he's like speaking originally, like saying Fuga or whatever? It's like so weird. But yeah, I mean, we get a little bit more details. Like we learned that it's like he stores up like a bunch of fire or something, right? I don't remember. There was something, but it wasn't really that cool. But let me, if there's any comments here or chats. What I always loved Kusakabe. True, I love Kusakabe too, but when I look it up, everyone's like making fun of him, and all the TikToks like making fun of him too. So many JJK characters do like 1 or 2 things ever. Kusakabe falls into that. Yeah, but like the 1 or 2 things he does is like the coolest things ever. We love him. There are only 4 special grades because they're copying One Piece. Maybe. It's very possible. The one Kenjaku summoned on Takaba. I don't even remember that. But I would certainly believe it. Isn't it funny how Yuji gets Sukuna's technique and his mother's gravity powers, and it like doesn't fit his character at all? Feels like he's just picking up random powers. That is probably true. I'll be honest, I don't remember much about Yuji's involvement in that final fight at all, so it was fine. I don't know. The explanations and power system is so baffling. That is very true. I genuinely have no idea what the functional difference between simple domain and hollow wicker basket is. So, you know, the difference is simple domain like looks really cool and is like awesome. Hollow wicker basket looks really lame and I don't like it. That's the difference. That's the biggest example, but so much of the time it feels like Gege has cool ideas, but he never bothers to fully explain and just expects you to read his notes in his office on how everything works. That's probably true. Jujutsu Kaisen is absolutely the most confusing manga I've ever read, by far. Not to mention, not too much of a big detail, but you should probably also read on Weeb Central or other sites with the scans of the volumes. Shonen Jump only has the chapters as they're released weekly, so the image quality and mistakes are still there. I remember the translation being pretty bad in parts coming up. I don't know if it was fixed in the volumes. I also remember there being some more unfinished sketch panels coming up that would have been fixed in the volumes. So I did continue reading on the Shonen Jump website. There wasn't any, I didn't really think there were any major issues or anything. There was one chapter that had like the draft things again, but that was it. All the other art was like fine. But that's the first video's comments. I think the next one got a lot less comments, so, you know, it'll be a lot quicker. I don't think anyone's chatted anything. Okay. 2 comments. I literally cannot wait to consume this compilation edit of Jujutsu Kaisen review. True. We got Miller's massive comment again. If you look at an actual Shonen Jump issue, the page quality is terrible, super thin, literally printed on colored pages, designed to be as cheap as possible. You know what? I have actually seen them when I was in Japan. I picked them up at the local 7-Eleven. I was like, what is this? And it was a Shonen Jump. It was pretty cool. The product, which is going to be used in the future, is the volume release. The only reason you're reading it weekly now is because we are reading the weekly release now is because of the new online stuff they do. It's an American site you're using. Not sure if the Japanese one has the same problem of not updating the volume release. It's not a big deal if something isn't finished for the weekly release, but then fixing the volume release. I mean, it's obviously a big deal to me. That's how I'm reading it. But true. This is probably true. So hilarious that you don't mention Kashimo at all. Pretty much sums him up. It was like fine. I don't have strong opinions on him. His coolest moment was when he showed up at the end of the Gojo versus Sukuna fight. Sukuna beat and tamed Maharaga off screen. Oh, we don't know that for a fact. No point in showing it because we already know he can beat him because we saw it in Shibuya. We don't know that because, like, very clearly he kept adapting to him in Shibuya, right? Like, what if he adapted to the fire thing? We don't know. Like, it's very possible, right? From what I remember, I think Sukuna wanted to surpass Gojo's infinity. Sukuna wanted to surpass Gojo. I don't remember this at all. I remember reading this from Miller and I was like, maybe this is what happened, but if it did, this completely went over my head. Sukuna wanted to surpass Gojo's infinity, so he waited for Maharaga to adapt it, and then copied the way Maharaga bypassed it onto his cuts, which cut the world to kill Gojo. So, again, JJK is like the most confusing story ever, and there's like a very good chance that I don't understand. My understanding of this final cut that was like really crazy was that Sukuna, like, in a desperate attempt to like, I need to do something now, like before I die, he just like completely reinvented how he does his like slice. And he was like, I'm going to make it so it slices literally the entire universe. That was my understanding. Like maybe it is related to Maharaga. I just have no idea. I think Sukuna was way stronger than Gojo anyway, and he could have beaten him by using attacks like his domain expansion and domain amplification. He just wanted the challenge of surpassing infinity, so he restricted himself. So I guess I might just be very confused when I'm reading this. I did not get this impression at all. I do get the impression that Sukuna is almost certainly like stronger than Gojo, but I don't think the difference is very large, and it doesn't feel like he could have beat him and he was like holding back or anything like that. It definitely didn't feel like that. But maybe there's like some weird line that I just misunderstood or something, but I did not get this impression when I was reading. I absolutely love how the chapter about the simple domain stuff... Huh? Oh, I absolutely love how bad the chapter about the simple domain stuff at the end is. It feels like maybe a plotline that should have been running for a while, or even the basis of the arc, but Gege clearly wanted to do it, and it was and it is a cool idea. Maybe he just couldn't think of a good way to put it in the story. It's so funny. That is true. Ugh, excellent. All right. Do you really have no problem with writing Nobara out of half the story and then bringing her back to a single blow? I have literally zero issue with this. And if anything, I think it's really cool. Like it makes the moment where she comes back like even cooler. So I really, really like that. Like, yeah, it makes sense in the narrative, but he didn't have to write it that way, especially if you like her. I don't know why you'd like it. Because it's like super cool when she comes back. I'm like, oh my god, it's Nobara, hell yeah. She's like doing the final blow. It was like super cool. I really liked it. It just feels weird. And when you pair that with Megami getting body snatched and going and doing nothing here, feels like the main trio got shafted so hard, which would be an interesting place to take the story. I guess I completely disagree with all of this. Like, I don't care about the main duo, trio or whatever. Megami is pretty terrible. Yuji's like fine. Nobara's awesome. Which would be an interesting place to take a story, thinking that they're the main characters, but they're actually not because they're too weak or something. But then the final chapter frames it like they're the main trio of the manga and the most important characters, even though the story does such a terrible job of displaying them as important characters. I mean, I just disagree with all this. Yeah, Kenjaku just being curious is good because it's the opposite of Yuji wanting to live without regrets. I disagree with this, but this is like fine. This is a fine reading. I just think it's cool because it's like cool. I don't really care about the comparison to Yuji, but I get it. Miller, likes his comparison. With the short amount of time he has left because of his execution, Kenjaku lives for so long that his life has no meaning, and he just does literally anything that makes him curious. Him going out that way was terrible, though. Why make him Yuji's mother if he never finds out? Well, I mean, we find out, and it's like cool, right? Same with Megami never finding out about Toji. That is true. The Toji thing is different because it's like they almost interact. Like they almost get there, but they don't. That's the thing. If there was like a hint at the mother, like if he took over like a female body or something and then they interacted, I'd be like, oh my god, like, is it gonna happen? But no. And the comedian guy should have been a bigger character in the story for longer if he's gonna be the second biggest villain. I mean, obviously, I just disagree with this. I thought it was very cool. I like when stories do this like subversion of like, man, it would be so cool if this character beat this villain, and then they do, and it's like, wow, it's awesome. I don't think Uruume was shown to be strong enough to justify Hikari fighting. Obviously, I disagree with this completely. I think every time Uruume is shown, she is basically in control of the situation and only loses because like someone that she wasn't expecting to show up randomly shows up. I feel like she's portrayed as incredibly strong. And if she was in that fight with like Sukuna, I feel like they would have almost certainly lost like immediately. Yeah. Also felt like Hikari was built up so much to not even get the final fight and shown so weird. I mean, he has his own like whole entire arc, and he has like that massive fight in the last like whatever the last video. I think he gets enough. I do really like Gojo versus Sukuna. It's one of the best technical fights I've read. Felt like the mechanics of the entire series were all introduced just to make this fight as cool as possible. It's that good. It rewards you so much for reading the rest of the series, but paying attention to the power system. I don't know if that's good because there's so much... Wait. I don't know if it's that... I don't know if it's good... Wait, what? I don't know if it's that good because there's not much thematically or character-wise I care about. That goes for all the fights here. They're fun to read, but all the emotions fall flat, especially the stuff with Yuji and Sukuna. With what generic, boring, philosophical slop. I agree with this Yuji and Sukuna stuff, but there are a lot of emotional fights I was involved in that final stuff, so I would say disagree with that. But there we go, we've read all these comments. Now, was there any on the character tier list? I don't even remember. Wow. The Todo joke is the only good joke in JJK. You're lost if you think the Gojo comedy is funny. I read this and I was like, did Miller say Gojo instead of JJK? I don't really know what he means by Gojo comedy, but true. Anyway. Isn't it funny how Yuji gets Sukuna? I heard that already. But think about all the cool moments Nobara could have had if she wasn't absent from half the story. I mean, maybe, but maybe she could have had lame moments too. I don't know. But she wasn't there, so I have no idea. Dang, I left another comment on the 64 to 199 video, but it was held because I used a certain word. Oh my goodness. We'll go and wait. I should probably I think I can take away those held things. Let me have a look. Oh my god, YouTube's so slow. Okay. No, I'm on the wrong channel. Oh my god. Be patient, guys. Wait, let me just use Edge. I got an issue with Firefox at the moment. Okay. Thank you for reading my comments, EliteAri. You're welcome. Sorry, that was some Puella Madoka Magica, the movie Rebellion scene that I just played by accident. Please no more comments. I want to hear the YouTubers. We're getting there. Like Gojo being silly and trying to be funny is so cringe. I'll be honest, no moments like that really come to mind. But I agree with the concept, but I wouldn't apply it to Gojo. Like I would say Jujutsu Kaisen, the problem is it's when I think of JJK, I still think of the anime, and I don't like the comedy that much. Like I don't really like the comedy in the anime, purely because it's that type of exaggerated comedy that things like Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood do, versus the more grounded comedy that Chainsaw Man does. And I appreciate and really like the grounded comedy in Chainsaw Man. I don't like the exaggerated kind of stuff in stuff like, right? Actually, I even like the comedy in stuff like Mob Psycho and One Punch Man, which feel a lot more grounded than the stuff the weird meta, oh, we're gonna do a different art style and we're gonna do funny noises and stuff. I don't like that type of comedy, and JJK does that. I don't know. Anyway, so which one did Creed? Was it Creedon? Which one did Creedon say? 64 to 199. Let's see. Comments. Held. We have some held comments. Uh-oh. We have no comments from Creedon being held. So either it was too long, or Creedon is mistake, or too long, since I did it, or he's just mistaken, you know? But it is what it is. Wait, give me a second. Oh my god, I just have so many comments. Okay. EliteAri is gonna love One Piece's comedy, Lamel. I guess we'll see. Yeah, hopefully not. Yeah, I don't like it when there's a distinction between a normal scene and a funny scene. I agree. Yes, that is a good way of putting it. Okay. Okay, JJK time. So, I have no idea if these are representative or interesting videos, but they showed up at some point on my either homepage or when I Google JJK video essay. How to write the strongest and how not to. That could be interesting somewhat. What the internet did to Jujutsu Kaisen. JJK's ending was great, actually. That's funny. The wasted potential of Jujutsu Kaisen. 3 hours. Can Jujutsu Kaisen fix the manga? That I'm probably interested in. Jujutsu Kaisen teaches you the opposite. You need to be selfish. I mean, that could be pretty boring, but also interesting. Analyzing Yuji and Sukuna's final conversation. I feel like that's going to be incredibly boring, but we might look at it. How to write an alien. Oh, these are not JJK ones, but they could be interesting videos. Oh, actually, I want to watch this first. Oh my god. Pay Talks anime is it's so funny. Because when we started watching him, it was a tiny channel. And this is only 2 years ago. He had 10,000 subs or something, right? It was tiny. And now he has 213,000. And it's thanks to the power of free run. He has so many really successful free run videos. It's crazy. Oh, look at this. He's branching out. He's got dungeon meshy stuff as well. But yeah, let's see. I'm curious. What's he going to recommend to us?
Feels like we're in a golden age of anime. There are so many good shows, and with that abundance comes a lot of.
And every time I think of Pay Talks anime, my first thought is always Did I like this guy's videos or did I hate these guys' videos? I don't remember. I never remember, ever.
Stories falling between the cracks. Today I want to talk about shows that stood out to me as worthwhile to watch, ones you may or may not have already seen, from hyper-popular within the last 10 years to more obscure. You've likely heard of most, if not all of them. None of these shows are deep cuts, but something that's becoming more apparent as people leave comments is how many people are getting into anime because of Frieren and some of my videos.
Alright, I don't care. Skip and Loafer. I will probably watch this one day. Kaiju number 8. I'll probably not watch this one day. I don't know. I don't think I've ever heard anything really interesting about this. Let's hear him convince us.
On the
here.
topic of a character really feeling their age comes a shonen built around a midlife crisis. Kaiju number 8's second season is currently airing, and before watching it, I decided to rewatch the first season, and I was shocked by how strong of a show it was, especially in a second viewing. This and 2 other shows on the list are what I would consider to be hyper popular. These are very far from anything that you could consider a deep cut. Kaiju number 8 is very upfront with the way it's subverting shonen tropes. This is a genre that's target audience is young boys, leading to protagonists that are almost always within the age range of 13 to 21, with a bell curve that leans way towards the lower end. But Kaiju number 8 asks the very fun question of what if a shonen protagonist was actually a 32-year-old man, one almost ready to give up on his dream of joining his childhood friend in a task.
Alright, boring. Keep your hands off Azerken. Never heard of it.
Well, what about a show that's much more obscure? One that differentiates itself strongly from Kaiju number 8 and Skip and Loafer,
Oh my God,
and
it's so
telling a
ugly.
story that feels a lot more singular. Keep Your Hands Off Aizoken follows 3 high school girls as they venture into the world of
I feel like I recognize these characters, especially this one. I feel like I've seen an opening, like an anime opening about the show, maybe.
of creating their own anime. Something that's kind of cool about these meta stories of an anime about making anime is that they come with a deep understanding of what it's actually like. As someone that's worked a lot behind the scenes with multiple content creators, made music professionally, and released my own YouTube videos, a lot of the behind the scenes of making art is very unglamorous, but still something worth romanticizing in its mundane way. So as watching this, it felt
Boring. Haikyuu's fine. Ping Pong, I'll watch that one day. Mob Psycho, true. Let's listen to him glaze Mob Psycho a bit.
Mob Psycho is another show.
You know, yesterday, instead of recording my reaction to Tatsuki Fujimoto's 17 to 26 or whatever, I watched like Mob Psycho reactions for like 2 hours straight. I watched Blind Wave, I watched Halo and Kiss, I watched like, I just watched like random channels, and I'm like, man, Mob Psycho 100 so good. But, yeah.
I think some people may have skipped out on because of their first impression, whether or not it's the art style or the vibe of the first couple episodes. But it's the story I wanted from something like One Punch Man, an overpowered protagonist done right. A story filled with tons of conflict that can't just be solved with power. But don't let that fool you, because there are tons of fantastic fight scenes built around remarkable aesthetics in the show. The animation seems rough around the edges, like they were cutting a lot of corners, but then you also get some of the most beautifully
Wait, what? Is this guy crazy? I thought this guy would at least know about animation and stuff.
solved with
First, he like used the wrong term, right? And then secondly, like Mob Psycho is obviously not cutting corners, but
power. But don't let that fool you, because there are tons of fantastic fight scenes built around remarkable aesthetics in the show. The animation seems rough around the edges, like they
firstly, the art might seem rough around the edges. The animation never seems rough around the edges, but okay.
were cutting a lot of corners. But then you also get some of the most
I can't believe you just said that. For some reason, I'd peg this guy as like one of the people who is informed about like anime and stuff. This is like a wild thing you just said, but okay, damn.
beautifully animated scenes I've seen in television. The humor at times feels very classically shonen, where loud equals funny and expressions are as exaggerated as possible. But part of the reason that works so well is because the main character Mob is drawn to be as undescript as possible. He's written to be apathetic and monotone. His character at first seems boring, then his personality ties into a much deeper and bigger arc, one that touches on meaningful aspects of the human condition. I have a video coming up comparing a character from Mob Psycho to Frieren, and in the same way I've spent so much time breaking.
What's he gonna compare? He put Reagan and he put whatever the Himmel or whatever his name is, Himmel. What on earth would be the comparison between those two? I guess they both drive the protagonist or whatever. I don't know.
To Frieren, and in the same way I've spent so much time breaking down how Frieren is a story that explores much bigger themes, I think Mob Psycho is one that does it too. It never stops trying to be funny, and maybe the jokes grew on me or they were written better, but I found myself laughing more and more as I watched the show. Mix that with its serious moments and you get something actually really special. I was talking to my roommate a while back about a video where I wanted to differentiate between pieces of media that were your favorite and ones that you could make a case for as being the best. I don't think there is a show that is the best, but I think there are shows that are so good that you can make a case for them. When prompted on the spot, he chose Mob Psycho. And I went, yeah. So whether or not you've given it a shot and given up.
Okay, great. Sound euphonium. I've heard of this. I think I've seen a visual of like a trumpet and it's like shiny. It's kind of similar to this, but it's like more. Anyway. I liked it when Denji teleported down the stairs. Yeah, that was, see, well, the Chains Man's got a great comedy, you know? Ping Pong the Animation. That is on this list. Do Alexander videos. He has the unique ability to make you hate whatever he is passionate about. That's probably true. Miller has linked a few videos. I feel like about Mob Psycho the same way EliteAri feels about South Park. I don't blame you. It is like an interesting art style. But they're obviously not comparable. South Park is much like uglier than Mob Psycho. Everything can be solved with power. Prime Minister. Former Prime Minister. I don't know why I said that. I was just referencing Doctor Who, and I don't know why I said that. But anyway. Yeah, it's kind of insane to say. Simplistic art style. Simplistic character designs equals rough. Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. There ain't no way we're watching this boring ass video at 1x speed. Absolutely not. What are you talking about? This is 1.5. I would never watch a video at 1x speed. But thank you, Paytalks Anime. I'm glad you got 40,000 views for this video. Good for you, man. It is crazy that he got 40,000 views, right? Maybe I'm like super biased, but I just feel like I could make this video. Like I could replicate this exactly, and I would get like 50 views. But maybe I'm delusional. Maybe I think too high of myself, you know? Maybe I can't do it. Maybe there is a special Paytalks Anime. Maybe his like delivery is better. Maybe his music is better, you know? I don't know what to say.
Not very long ago.
Oops. Anyway. All right. Jujutsu Kaisen, guys. Okay, those videos were there. And then what did Miller send? Ryomen Sukuna is beautifully simple. Boy. You know, I like Sukuna a lot during the Shibuya incident, okay? But he only went down from there, so I wonder how he's going to say how interesting he is. Jujutsu Kaisen chapter 236 is peak, and here's why. I mean, obviously, I completely agree with this. I feel like it's going to be pointless for me to watch this, because I completely agree with him. 236 is spoilers, guys, for the manga, by the way. This is JJK spoilers right now, okay? For the manga, leave. But chapter 236 is when Gojo dies. And the problem is that, like, everyone else reading this, well, it's weird, because it's like, there's three groups of people. There's, like, the average manga reader who, like, wasn't spoiled and was like, oh my god, I can't believe Gojo just lost after saying that he won at the end of the last chapter. Then there's, like, the online, like, terminally online, like, week-to-week manga reader who is spoiled on the fact that Gojo died through leaks. And they're gonna have, I can't even imagine what their mindset is like. And then there's, like, people like me who is like, I know that Gojo dies because I got spoiled on it, but then I'm reading, like, all this, like, in one go, like, I'm not reading week to week. And I feel like my perspective is going to be very different from people who read, like, who were there live, you know, for the event. And from this perspective, knowing that Gojo dies going into the fight, this is, like, a fantastic, like, ending. So I feel like this is a pointless video. I'm probably just going to agree with it, like, straight up. But Ryomen Sukuna is beautifully simple. Let's listen to this. But it is true. Sukuna is simple. He likes... Actually, you know what? Can I even summarize Sukuna's character? Sukuna is very strong, and he does what he wants and takes what he wants and kills who he wants, and he lives in his own world because no one is comparable to him. And by the end of the story, for some reason that I guess I don't quite understand, he decides that he wants to change his life. And if he was reborn again, he would live out his life with more love. That's my understanding of Sukuna. So let's see how this changes my perspective here. I'm not glad we used to have good, cool, popular YouTubers. That's not true. We never had cool YouTubers. I guess unless you count like Vsauce. And Heath is here dabbing. There's no way you'll be getting the blonde videos. That's almost certainly true. Yeah, I think the leaks were bad and didn't say how Sukuna beat him, so they thought it was a plot hole or something. Yeah, I'm so glad I wasn't there for that. Oh my goodness. Power. Power. Get the power. It's a One Punch Man reference. I feel like after a certain point, 90% of JJK characters is summed up by are really strong, or want to be beaten and then die. Want to be beaten and die. I have no idea. Maybe. It's very possible. Feel us in, Alexander. Oh, I thought that was him speaking Japanese. Wait, is it? Wait, maybe it is. No, it's too good to be him. What videos has he made? Who is this guy? I know this guy. I know he's blocked me on Twitter, I'm pretty sure. Wait, let me double check. Wait. Okay, no, this guy has not blocked me on Twitter. Maybe it's the other guy. Oceanas or whatever. Wait, what's his name? Oceana. Or maybe he unblocked me or something. Wait, wasn't this guy an anime channel? What is this? Wait, is this the wrong channel? Oh no, I guess he changed. Okay. Oh, this guy didn't have a Twitter. Wow, okay, you know what? Neither of them have blocked me. So maybe they either unblocked me or I'm just crazy. But I'm pretty sure one of these people blocked me. But anyway. This is the worst YouTuber of all time. He blocked Cichlid on Twitter. Damn. I know one, I'm pretty sure it was this guy. He almost certainly blocked me. And I don't even remember why. I think I said something like, obviously I was trolling him, but it wasn't that bad, you know? So yeah. Why are you getting blocked on Twitter? I think he like said something dumb and then I made fun of him, but it was like in a trolling way. And I think he got really mad about it. It's probably a way to find this actually. Wait, what's his Twitter handle? Okay. Let's do this. Oops, that's wrong. Is there like an advanced search? Oh, yeah, there is, right? Wait. So we don't care about the words. From at EliteAri 2 to at Alexander. We're going to see every comment I've ever made about him. This could be very terrible. No results? Oh, yeah. Oh, boy. Yeah, this is the one that got me blocked. I get immense satisfaction knowing that I made this person's day worse by simply expressing my love for a story. The Chimerians arc is the single worst arc in anime history, and all blah, 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 whatever. And he said, fuck yeah. And I said, you should be kinder. Maybe the commenter is mentally unwell. You shouldn't be taking someone's welfare lightly. True, and then he blocked me. But here we are. This is my fantastic interaction, okay? Anyway. Ryomen Sukuna is beautiful and simple. Let's go. Oh, wait, actually, let me catch up on chat. Hi, they blocked me on Blue Sky. True. Why'd you get blocked? Well, that's why. And that was like 3 years ago. So that was like many years ago, I think. When was that? 2023. Okay. Also, we are doing JJK manga spoilers right now. So again, I'm warning you. You're going to get spoiled on the JJK manga. So be careful. Hi, Ari, says Mr. Gems. Hi, or not Mr. Gems. Hi, not Mr. Gems. Where are the boys at tonight? I mean, we're here right now, you know. What pants do you have on? I just have like shorts on right now. Bad bait, Ari. You know, it was 2 years ago, you know? What can I say? But it worked. He blocked me, but anyway. God, whenever any video opens with a thing like this, unless it's like Bacon, who makes like super cool, like actual edited things, I'm like, I'm gonna skip this, okay? But here we are watching on stream, okay?
With the sheer amount of videos and think pieces and content out there available on him, I'm not sure that there's anything about Ryomen Sukuna that I can shed.
Sorry, I'm getting so distracted, but I just thought of something I wanted to talk about, just quickly. Oh my god, we're not going to make it through a single video. Chibi reviews. Was it, wait, I don't, it was one of the One Punch Man videos. I think it was probably the latest one.
I am 99%.
I've never seen him so, like, animated. Like, he, like, got out of his chair and he was, like, mad and stuff. And I was like, what? This is crazy.
Certain this is real. And I don't want to believe it, but I know I'm going to check the scene for the episode. And hell! How is this?
Jesus.
Bro, how do we keep getting lower? Dude! Stop it! Dude! Dude! Oh my goodness, what the hell? How is this possible? How is this possible? Dude! Like, you can't just keep doing this like that. One time mistake, okay. Second mistake, kind of bad, okay. 3 mistakes, gotta stop. 4 mistakes, there is an inherent issue. Throw this in the freaking dumpster. What is this? No way. No freaking way. No freaking way that this is actually real. In the same episode, these are mistakes that just keep happening. Dude.
I was like, I can't believe this. I didn't know he had it in him to be, like, so animated, you know? It was crazy. But good for him, you know? But also, oh my god, I'm getting so distracted. But I remember, because I watched this, and I was like, all right, I'm curious, like, I watched a few of them. Like, I was like, what's the One Punch Man discourse? Because I was thinking about making, like, a One Punch Man video or something. And it took me so long to understand what he was complaining about, by the way. Let's watch this.
I am 99% certain this is real, and I don't want to believe it, but I know I'm going to check the scene for the episode, and it's going to be there. And it is about to make me crash out. Just let's look at the scene. So you can see Mizuki going in.
And then he's like already realized it. I'm like, what is he complaining about? I don't get it. What happened?
How do we keep getting lower? Dude!
And that's when like the crash out happens. I'm like, what is he? What just happened? What did I miss? What triggered him into this insane rant? But apparently it's because the band-aid on her face disappears.
99% certain this is
This band-aid here.
real. And
I was like, man, okay, damn. But anyway, so that's that. Boxers? No, just shorts. What'd you have for dinner? I had a pizza for dinner today. Are your generosity and kindness and compassion and empathy is truly inspiring. That is true. Thank you. Sometimes I think about Sukuna and start crying. That is also true. Actually, I've never cried about Sukuna. Never. I cry when I think about Gojo. Gojo Sensei. Sorry. Okay, now I'm here for real. I love Chibi reviews. He's exposing the use of AI. Also, that is without a doubt that there's no way that's AI. But that'd be very funny if it was. Real, I love Chibi reviews. He's exposing the use of AI. No, you do not, Kyle. You are lying to me. I want to see him mad. Definitely not performative. True. He's copying his husband, Nicholas. True. Dude, the freaking dumpster. Oh, my mouse froze again. He's not overreacting, by the way. He is definitely overreacting. He is who cares what One Piece Man looks like. I care. I love One Punch Man. I'm sad that season 3 looks terrible. I said another good chibi one. What is this?
this is actually happening. This is actually happening. There is actually not just progress in Rent-A-Girlfriend, but Kazuya is literally about to do the thing. Something is rising, and it is not the shield hero. To add emphasis to this, look at what's on the floor there.
Okay. Wow. One Piece Man would be a better show. True. The first Sora anime. Not true. Did you see the Amazon voice acting AI? No, I don't even know what you're talking about. He's gonna do the thing. True, he's gonna have sex. Alright, anyway, JJK, let's do it.
Shed light on that hasn't been said before. This man has grabbed audiences by the scruff of their necks and shocked and awed with his sheer presence, aura, dynamics, and deceptive complexities, and as a result, he has left so many feeling reflective, doing their best to parse out his nuances and meaning. And I think that's amazing.
Oh my god, he made this 3 months ago. Why did he make a Sukuna video 3 months ago? The manga ended like a year ago, right? Oh my god.
And a testament to the power that this character has. And I can't help but try to throw my hat in the ring to an extent. Not to necessarily presume that there's anything about him that only I have thought of, but to simply share why he's one of my favorite antagonists ever and why he appeals to me. Now,
Oh, wow.
for years I liked Sukuna and thought he was good, but I felt like there was a buffer there and I never connected with him or found him as super impressive as others seemed to. But something clicked with me during the airing of Season 2 of the anime adaptation. Maybe it was Suabe's performance, or the
Well, it is. I'm probably going to agree with him, because I really liked Sukuna up until the end of the Shibuya incident. I thought it was really good and interesting. And like a prodigy and a genius, and not necessarily evil or anything like that.
magnificent presentation, or simply being refreshed on the story content of Shibuya. But whatever the reason may have been, I suddenly found myself enthralled with the character in a way that I had never been before, and that only reinforced itself with the material that would come in the manga's finale and climax. And what I've come to learn is clear. I love Sukuna for his unbelievable presence and rawness. I love what he means for the setting.
He likes his aura, guys. This is crazy. But true, Sukuna does have aura. That's how I reacted when I first had sex. True. You haven't seen the banana fish AI controversy, EliteAri? No. Miller has never had sex. You're a small Lebanese child. What does that mean? Miller has a wife, doesn't he? I don't know. Not necessarily evil. He comes out of Yuji wanting to eat babies and women. Does he? Wait, what? I don't remember this. He comes out of Yuji wanting to eat babies and women? Is this in the manga? What does that mean? Racism much, man? I don't know the lore, okay? Maybe you are Lebanese, Miller. I have no idea. Maybe you and Mr. Gems know each other outside of this. Maybe you and Mr. Gems are the same person. I have no idea. But true, no racism, Mr. Gems, okay?
At large. I love his dynamics with Yuji and Gojo, and I love his intricacies and complexities. But most of all, what really strikes me about Sukuna is his simplicity. He gesticulates and taunts and mocks. He is cruel and sadistic and enjoys suffering, so he's by no means a withdrawn, honorable knight of pure principle. But at his heart is a profound respect for the concept of strength and might with no bells or whistles. There really isn't any trace of fraudery or a mask or any notion of coping for 99.9% of his time throughout the story. He simply holds true to the philosophy that he's built through experience, he says what he means, and he expresses how he feels. That isn't to say that that the things that he does are not tainted with evil, but from a characterization and psychology perspective, Sukuna is honest, acting in accord with how he's learned that the world works and how he's lived his life. Born and yet not yet born into the womb of his starving mother attached to a twin, Sukuna's first feelings were twofold: fear of the void of death that would await should he himself starve to death, and a rampant conviction and desire to do whatever it took to survive. As a result, Sukuna ate his twin, ensuring that not only would he live on, but that he would do so as an individual, not tied to his twin or treated as the same being, and not dependent on one another as he would have been if they both survived. From literally before he was born, Sukuna desired to live as himself and expressed this yearning through.
Is that why he likes Sukuna? This is interesting. When he first eats the finger, Sukuna comes out saying that. Man, I don't remember that. That's very funny. In chapter 1 or 2, Sukuna says that. Wow. Okay, well, maybe, you know what? Maybe he is evil. Mr. Gems will never get banned here. He might, if he goes crazy. Miller hates me. Correct, your name reminds me it's totally not Mark. You just think you're so clever, saying you're not who you say you are. Wow.
A Darwinistic strength, and from here he continued to be destructive and isolated. He killed his parents as a byproduct of his power. He was abused and scorned as an abomination, and essentially...
Thanks for the recap on Sukuna's life. Okay.
In that hatred only grows, and he restates his complete inability to understand...
Thanks for the recap, okay.
Breaking through to him through communication via defeat is so essential. Talking didn't work, debating didn't work, reaching out to his emotions didn't. Acceptance and a strange humility, wondering how his life would have gone if he took a different path. This simplicity and depth is what I love most about Sukuna, though the incredible complexities and dynamics, meta-elements, raw shonen hype, and awesome aura help too. At heart, he is simply a being who only learned how to live his life in one specific way and who only ever learned that that way was the only way, and as a result devalued everything in existence that was peripheral to that. Love, family, bonds, connections...
See, okay. This is like a fine thing. I think that's an interesting idea. And I'm sure maybe if I watched the rest of the video, he'd explain this. But why does he change his mind? Like, what changed his mind? The fact that he, like, lost? It has to be, right? Like, it's the only thing that changes, right? That he, like, lost the final fight. Like, the conversation with Yuji didn't really change his mind. Unless it did. Like, was the convo with Yuji what changed him? I don't know.
Sentiment in general. These are things that Sukuna shrugged off as meaningless and void, but this is all that Yuji used to empower himself in a world that laughed at and tortured him for doing so. And despite the bitterness, the hate and rage and vitriol that he felt towards this bug that he couldn't squash, Sukuna, in the end, could not help but respect that. And in so doing...
I guess it was Yuji who did it. I don't know what to say. I'm crying. Sukuna is such a tragic character. That is true. I felt so bad when he died. I love awesome aura. That is true. I love when a character has aura, you know, no one has more aura than Gojo, or Gojo Sensei, sorry. So we love him the most. I've never gone more than 5 minutes into an Alexander video and thought this video is going to have some good points in it that will expand my thinking on the subject. I mean, these I don't know. I personally, I haven't watched, I think I've watched like one Alexander video, maybe two. He made the Hunter x Hunter video, right? Wait, I think that was it. Oh, no, that's not it. That's not the one I'm thinking of. Was it the Gon? No, I think I've seen this one. I think I watched, like, part of this before I, like, even watched Hunter x Hunter. And I think I've seen one more video, and I think I talked about it on Digest. Now, I don't remember what video it was, but it was, like, some random video someone told me to watch, I think. Was it the My Hero video? Did he make the really bad video about All for One being bad? Because that was I remember that being a bad video. Was that someone else? Do you guys, I don't know, this is like some deep lore in the EliteAri channel, or the Ordinary Ari Digest, but do you remember that video which was like, they had some criteria for what makes like a good villain or like a good character or something, and then like they violated their own rule, and I was like, why are you doing this? It wasn't Alexander, right? It must be like someone else. But I remember that was a bad video. Oh my goodness. Anyway. I think we're done with Alexander, okay? Thank you. Sukuna is great. Now, the real question is, if I go to the comments, are they going to be memes? Like, are they going to be funny things? Are they going to be serious people who hate Sukuna and think he's a bad character? Or are they going to be serious people who like Sukuna and are like, hell yeah, Alexander, I'm glad you made this video. I think it's probably going to be funny memes. The first 3 will be like some joke about, I don't know, it's going to be some joke. Okay, no, damn. Truly a generational antagonist. His greatness is only being solidified further with his final conversation with Mahito. It's interesting for that all of Sukuna's strength and equal... Huh? For all of Sukuna's strength equals... What? It's interesting that for all of Sukuna's strength equals isolation, he himself is a parasite consuming his twin to gain power. I don't know if that makes you a parasite if you consume your twin to gain power. And later in his return, he would have to use the bodies of others to even interact with the world. I mean, that could make him a parasite. The twin thing is not a parasite, but okay. All right. Boring. Talk no jutsu. True. Life is good. Oh shit. You're right. You're right. Thank you. Zeke moment. True. Yeah, but Zeke's is really good. 18 ending sucks on God. 9 viewers is big. True. Everyone just loves JGK so much. Probably Oceanis or Asaratha. Let's have a look. All for one bad. Actually, well, it was this video. This was, I remember thinking, this is not a good video, but okay. Anyway, that was like 2 years ago, I think I watched that video. Remember that time when Itadori threw a shot put like a baseball at the very start of the series, then it was never spoken about again? Actually, I think it was spoken about again. I don't remember at what point, but in those chapters that I read, it was brought up. I don't remember why, but it definitely, like, it was brought up that he was really good at, like, sports or something. I don't know. Who knows? Or you, like, ran really fast or something. I don't know. Anyway. Let's watch one of these JJK videos about, like, the reaction. I think I opened some, right?
Jujutsu Kaisen was one of the most hyped up and loved stories out there. Everyone was watching this shit and everyone loved it. But at some point, as the manga continued on, that love kind of shifted to the point where you nowadays see a ton of hate and frustration towards the story, particularly after the ending. Now, it wouldn't be the first time something like this has happened. The Attack on Titan finale was largely hated on by manga readers.
It's gonna be the one go-to manga for all eternity, guys. We're always gonna talk about Attack on Titan's ending.
But when it came out in the anime, even though there were some changes, the ending was basically the same, and yet the perception was largely positive. Even a lot of people that had hated the ending in the manga had a complete 180 after seeing the anime because it was so well animated and the music was so good.
Is this nigga serious?
I think it's fair to say that a lot of these people don't really like manga that much compared to anime and just switched to it because they really wanted to see what happened in the story. Similarly, the hate and criticism
That's me. That's
towards Jujutsu Kaisen really started to build a little after season 2 ended, which is the natural point where anime onlys would switch to the manga. Now, I'm not saying that this is the only reason why the perception of Jujutsu Kaisen got so much worse, or even that it's necessarily a factor at all, but I think a good reason could be a lot of people just weren't as accustomed to manga, and I think that was probably even more so the case with Jujutsu Kaisen, because while the Attack on Titan manga is basically the exact same experience as the anime, the Jujutsu Kaisen anime and manga are two completely different experiences.
Are they? The fights are a bit like, the fights are clearer in the anime. I don't know if they're that different.
Are more different than most anime and manga counterparts, at least season 2. Season 1 is pretty straightforward and follows the manga closely, but season 2 blows it out of the water.
I don't think it's that different.
And is what every anime adaptation should strive to be, in my opinion. And its success is in large part due to this guy right here.
Who's that? That's the director. It has to be.
That's why he's getting me! This is Shota Goshosono, the
Okay, I don't know who this is.
director of the second season, and
is that the director? Why do I think of another name when I think of the JJK director? Who's directing season 3? Oh, I think of this guy, but I guess the season 1 director. Okay. Oh, he's doing season 3 as well. Hell yeah. Okay.
man, this dude knows how to cook. Shota Goshosono won the Anime Awards in 2024 for his work on the season. He also worked on one of the best looking episodes of the first season and directed this beautiful episode from the Chainsaw Man anime. He absolutely deserved this win, as season 2 added so much extra content and scenes and told the story in a way that really elevated the source material. I know that for me, one of my biggest criticisms about Jujutsu Kaisen, particularly in season 1, is that the pacing was a bit too fast. I really felt like a lot of moments, especially emotional ones, didn't get a lot of room to breathe before moving on to the next scene. But in this season, so many scenes are intentionally made longer than they were in the manga. Like the first
Okay. Boring.
Weak sorcerers don't have a strong sense of self. Across the
But also, that was a fine video, just to say, but boring.
story of Jujutsu Kaisen, this idea is echoed through several of the strongest and most prominent characters in the story.
Anyway. I'm spreading misinformation. I've only seen the first season of JJK. Well, there we go. It's such a fan fiction. The Yuji's the child of, like, both main antagonists, and that's why he's strong. Well, it's not fan fiction, it is canon. Strong, true. He does beat the final villain, you know, with the great Nobura's help. Manga tourist, true. I mean, that's me, you know. It is true. The only reason I read the manga is because I just want to know where the story goes. I have no interest in manga as a medium, at least when it comes to, like, Jujutsu Kaisen. Working on a new theory that Kyle is colorblind and deaf and he can't see motion, and that's why he prefers manga over anime. That's probably true. Yeah, I do hate you. I think the presentation is wildly different to Gege's art in season 2. Yeah, I guess. That's probably true. Yeah. Any input on this theory, Kyle? Kyle's not here right now, I'm sure. My theory is that Kyle is just the constant state of sucking off best guy ever, and that's why he hates anime. That's also almost certainly true. Yeah, but best guy ever liked Gurren Lagann, so he can't be. That's also true. Oh my goodness, my chat is truing right now.
Each of them have reached a newfound level of power that's derived from a mindset that's completely unorthodox compared to most other shonen, especially for the story's heroes. However, in Jujutsu Kaisen, reaching this awakened state of mind is rewarded and even treated as the correct state of mind for anyone that's trying to reach the versus pinnacle of power. It's having a strong sense of self and the ability to change your own perception of what you can and can't achieve as a sorcerer to push yourself beyond your current limits. We can see it best in the two strongest sorcerers of JJK, Satoru Gojo and Ryomen Sukuna. While both Gojo and Sukuna reign nearly 1,000 years apart, they both think the same way. Even currently in their fight going on in the manga, they both clearly live in
Currently? Oh my god, this is during the fight? Oh my goodness.
going beyond what anyone thinks is currently possible.
Wait, I'm so curious. 8th of September, Jujutsu Kaisen 236. When did this come out? It was a few weeks until the end. Oh my goodness.
If it's repairing a burnt out curse technique or using a domain expansion in a way like never before, Satoru Gojo and Ryomen Sukuna will keep doing the impossible. Even Mei comments that it's almost ridiculous how many times they said something seems impossible, but Gojo and Sukuna do it anyway. They don't see any way to win as an impossibility, and they'll keep trying to overcome the other one way or another. They both have a strong sense of self that's capable of pushing themselves against one another to new heights of power that have never been explored. They're both obviously a catalyst for having the mindset to be a part of the strongest sorcerers in Jujutsu Kaisen. In this video, I'll be explaining how Jujutsu Kaisen's power is to kinda just be selfish by reaching your own sense of self, just like Gojo and Sukuna. If you'd enjoy more JJK
Okay, no interest. You know what I just thought of? Do you think Chibi Reviews had a JJK leak thing about Gojo dying? Okay.
The Jujutsu Kaisen community is currently on fire. Damage control, and it's just an absolute disaster ever since this morning when the Jujutsu Kaisen manga chapter leaks came out. Now, before I go any further and I talk about what's been going on, I want to offer a spoiler warning. Because obviously, if you have not been spoiled, and if you haven't been spoiled, that's honestly shocking to me. Because I'll be honest with you, when I opened up social media today, like, the first thing I did, I didn't even actively look for anything. I saw it on literally the top of Reddit. I don't even follow the Jujutsu Kaisen Reddit, but I saw the Jujutsu Kaisen leaks on Reddit, like in the top post. I saw it on, YouTube with thumbnails on videos, and then I saw it instantly all over the feed on Twitter. And there was even people pointing out that they, hid certain tags and stuff on Twitter, and they still saw the spoilers. Everybody was talking about it. It was on Instagram, it was on TikTok, it was everywhere. And it's crazy. If you have yet to be spoiled, I'm honestly impressed, and I really do recommend you to not continue on with this video, because you do not want to be spoiled if you're an anime only, or if you're a manga reader that has not seen
What was the thumbnail? Oh, it's not the thumbnail. It's like when you hover over the video.
The series, because of just what it's because when you factor in everything, you wouldn't have a way to Joe thought that Sukuna had no way to bypass.
Wait, am I? Oh no, I'm on the wrong video. Jesus.
The Jujutsu Kaisen community is hid certain tags to be spoiled. I'm honestly. There's been memes now created on these leaks. I'm just gonna go through all these different memes and stuff that kind of showcase what happened. Okay, so basically, I'm not even gonna explain. Just pause the video and you can see for yourself. Okay, the memes are absolutely hilarious that have came out with this chapter leak. It is actually funny. I couldn't believe just the outright carnage of memes. It's honestly hilarious. I legitimately I've had a good time just looking at all these these memes and stuff we got. I love this, man. But and then.
All right. Anyway.
So this video is going.
Yeah. It's retarded. Truing is my meme, EliteAri. Well, I used it. Why the hell are they called sorcerers if they don't even cast magic spells? This anime sucks. True. No, that's why they called Jujutsu Kaisen. I don't know.
Going to serve as a more in-depth breakdown of chapter 265 of Jujutsu Kaisen, which includes nothing more than a conversation between Yuji and Sukuna. While not much seems to be happening at first, there is a lot going on within this chapter, and I hope this video helps you and others understand that. With that said, since I value the time of both you and I'm not going to waste any more time with the intro, and we can just get straight into the video. So this talk begins with Sukuna
Bro wasted 28 seconds on an intro, but okay.
Explaining that when you're in the middle of combat with another sorcerer, it's rare, but you might directly connect with them and enter a world such as the one he and Yuji are communicating in. He explains that when this happens, it's a side effect of that connection with others, as curse energy as a whole is completely rooted in human emotion. And with this explanation, we can actually understand why Yuji and Sukuna entered these alternative worlds where they would speak to their opponents and, either send them off or make them become friends, all that extra stuff. And if you know...
Okay, this went completely over my head. Okay, I don't care. All right. Am I done with the stream? I think I cannot watch any more random JJK stuff, okay? These memes are hilarious, true. In this essay, I will, in conclusion, type writing. Yeah. Was that a small channel? We can forgive them if they're a small channel, okay? It's gone. It's gone. Wait, no, one more. Okay. Oh, it's gone. Okay. We're not watching that. Or that right now. No trailers. It's too long. Blonde makes a spectacle out of Marilyn Monroe's suffering. I watch a Blonde movie. It's, you know what? This one. It has the best title. We'll watch 2 minutes of this and then I'll probably end stream. Just so everyone knows, I have no, like, I don't care about Marilyn Monroe whatsoever. As a dead person who doesn't exist and I never had any interest in, like, whatsoever. So, let's watch.
Trigger warning for basically, well, everything.
What would you say this film means in terms of legacy?
Okay, we're already starting off bad because we're talking about interviews by cast and crew members or whatever. Which is literally what people like Nerderotic and Tyrone Magnus and all those people, they do the exact same thing. When something ideological happens that they don't agree with, they're like, look, Leslie Headland or whatever her name is about The Acolyte said this about the show, you know, therefore the show is bad. So we're doing that already, but let's go.
I think it's just a movie. I think the film is attempting to...
We got some Nerderotic humor here, this is lovely, alright.
The film is about the meaning of Marilyn Monroe. What does she mean? How should we feel about...
Wait, maybe this is just like a Nerderotic channel. I have no idea. I don't know anything about this person. Wow. Okay, this is not at all what I was expecting. Wait, what? I thought it was like a movie review channel. What is like a life channel? How did you find this, Kyle? What is this?
About her. What does she represent?
She represents a person who actually existed, so yeah, a little weird.
Is this the whole video? Wait. Oh no, okay.
These techniques. I want to put you inside her. What do you mean by that? And I also want to put her inside the collective memory of her. So you feel like she's sort of trapped in that.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
That serious until I watched the movie. And guys, this movie literally made me sick to my stomach. I am not kidding. To save you from watching that and putting you through the pain that I went through, I decided to watch the film for you guys and come on here and not only give my review on it, but also give you the main plot points and a lot more information that honestly makes you question the reason why this film was made. This video is sponsored by Self-Expression.
Oh my god, bro. Get me into the video. Wait, where is it?
Definitely skip the movie, which I don't know why you would, honestly, just out of maybe curiosity. But if you plan on watching this movie, definitely skip this video because major spoiler alert, we will literally be going through the entire plot because it's really necessary.
3 minutes in, nothing about the movie yet. Okay.
To the point of this video.
Okay, they got a copyright mute for the audio, I guess. Well, my headphones just died, potentially.
First, talk about who Marilyn Monroe was. The real story of Marilyn Monroe. According to
oh my god, I don't care.
on her start her own film. Dumb blonde is absolutely beyond me because if you look at the lates, as she deserved, guys, this woman was, I don't even want to say an actress, just an artist, in my opinion.
Okay. If this is what all the blonde discourse is going to be, I'm going to be so incredibly just bored and sad and oh my goodness. Okay. Holy. Anyway. Look for a video defending Yuji's non-memory powers. I mean, that video did it, right? They were talking about how it like all comes together and that's why there's like the worlds or whatever. I just have no interest right now. I don't think I can do it. I love blonde. Listen to that great accent. I don't like the Australian accent. Okay, when I hear it in my media, it's not good. Kyle is hip and respects PRC. Maybe. Ari just hates contextual readings and artists. Yeah, a lot of the time I do. That is true. It's like the 4th video that comes up. I love listening to someone recount a movie. Sometimes I do like that. I listen to AI like recounts on TikTok sometimes. So what can I say, you know? Okay. Was there anything on my actual... Oh, I should do a Chainsaw Man tier list at some point. Kyle Entertainment reminded me because he did one. It was a terrible one, by the way. He spent like 2 minutes on it or even less. But yeah. Australian accent on a girl is the most attractive to me and American, says Creedon. Hey, I'm only talking about Australian accents in media. I don't like it when I see it in like YouTube videos or like movies or something. I'm like, it's like it's too real. I see people with Australian accents all the time. Let's look at this review. Why not?
Already, I know I'm super late on this. I should have released this video maybe like 2 weeks back, but I got a new PC, I got a new microphone. It was a pain in the ass to set all this up, but I'm finally back.
True. Look, Maharaga. Hinata was his name, I think, from Haikyuu. Denji or Chainsaw Man. I have no idea who that is. Is that Pikachu? I can't even tell. I have no idea.
So let's talk about Chainsaw Man Raise movie. I don't really make movies.
Oh, I left a comment on this actually. Because I wasn't familiar enough. Or did it get deleted? Wait. Oh no, I guess it was a while ago. Because I got 1 thumbs up. I guess he saw it and thumbs it up. Because I'm not familiar enough with Kyle's video. But I was like, is this what Kyle's video was about? Wait.
Of Breaking Bad, we see milk titties, and that's also really the only time we see proper explicit nudity in Breaking Bad. I'm not counting Bryan Cranston's ass. The opening of Berserk sees Guts shoving his cannon into a monster. And also, he puts a gun into her mouth. There's an entire YouTube video of how this kind of feels out of place, but also a better explanation in writing terminologies on why this is used to set the mood. Really interesting video, I'll link it here. But yes, what I'm trying to say is that
didn't link it. I'm guessing
that in a similar way over here as well. People who
I'm guessing there's like some famous video that has the same, like, that covers the same stuff Kyle does. And that's probably what it is. It was like Super Eye Patch Tool for like one of those like really big channels. I'm guessing like talks about it. But what if he said, I watched this video by Kyle Entertainment and it was so good. And I'd be like, oh my God, that's crazy. Oh my God, Monker Man knows Kyle Entertainment? That's wild. But yeah, we'll see if he replies. Probably not. I know a place you can find a bunch of that, says Not Mr. Gems. Kyle is famous, true. He has a 1 million view video, doesn't he? Bro. Kyle's web entertainment's overtaken you. 20k subs. Wow, 1 million views. Wild. Yeah, must be my video, bro. True. Okay. Fujimoto was unhinged before Chainsaw Man. Naoya sucks. True, he does suck.
With JJK Season 3 about to introduce the wide world to Naoya and his ways, let's put it, I got asked this interesting question from Vortex, which was, what if he had attended Jujutsu High? So let's talk about it.
Oh my God, it's a what if video.
So this kind of boils down to nature versus nurture. Might Naoya have been different in a different environment at Jujutsu High with different mentors, right? Because he is messed up, okay? He's got some supremely backwards views, but he grew up in the Zenin clan, which also is messed up with supremely backwards views, right? They're patriarchal, they're very misogynistic, they're maniacal and power hungry, corrupt, right? So is Naoya a product of that? Because not only did he grow up
that's an excellent question. Naoya getting roasted indirectly is crazy. Okay. All right, guys, we did it. That's the end. I've literally never seen any Berserk media, and I thought that Kyle video on the first scene was pretty good. Don't tell him that. You know, he'll get a big head if you tell him his videos are good. All right. That's that. Let me dismiss my Discord notifications. Give me a second. Okay. Who knows when I will stream next, but I just have so much to go through. I have so many blonde videos, so many... Can we just quickly watch like a 2-second of a isolate? Wait, let's just for 2 seconds, okay? Wait. I want to watch an isolate TV Glow video. Just to get the idea of what people are saying. Give me one of the bad ones. What was there? Isolate TV Glow is the worst movie ever made. Okay, fine.
I know this might sound crazy. I don't want to alarm you. Do you remember a TV show we used to watch together? It was called...
The Big Big?
Yeah.
It's not often that I say this, but there's just some movies that suck so bad they shouldn't even exist. The Dark Age of cinema brought us a lot of those. People could find some hidden gems among the independent films that debuted here and there, but not all of those were good. And now we get a movie like I Saw the TV Glow. Audiences seem to be going nuts over this movie. But why? Was this movie really that good? Or was it Hollywood's conditioning of audiences to accept garbage? Join me, dear viewer, as I dive back into the dumpster fire that is modern Hollywood. When I first started my channel, I coined the term the Dark Age of cinema to describe films that debuted roughly from 2009 to the present that essentially lacked good story and character development in lieu of the message. With Top Gun Maverick, I saw the light at the end of the woke tunnel, but it's been
All right. Work bad, guys. Work bad. True. My videos are the best, like no one ever was. True. So wonderful how our good guy characters seemingly did nothing about the patriarchal Jujutsu system in 100 years. Didn't Gojo kill them all? Like all the higher ups? Isn't that good? Good guy. My videos are the very best. at a later stream. You should make videos on good anime, Kyle. Animes for kids. Is that why you think Naruto is still good? Naruto is the best. True. Okay, so that was the bad video. What about this one? TV Girl got under my skin.
Talking about being transgender freaks me out. Being queer is such an outsider experience, and while it's a big part of my life, I always feel unqualified to talk about it. I've known that I was transgender for a few years, but I feel like I only solidly settled my identity within the last year. Every single person's experience is so different, but there is something that connects all of us. We had to take a leap. The majority of people are not queer, and the queer community is definitely growing in size, but it's still a small community. It takes a lot of bravery to accept yourself as queer. Point being, there's a lot that goes into being transgender. It's a messy experience that whenever I try to explain it, it sounds like I'm playing Mad Libs. People ask me how I realized that I'm transgender, and usually my answer is something along the lines of, something didn't feel right, but I didn't know what, until I realized that I was transgender. It's something that you don't ever fully understand unless you go through it yourself. Ultimately, that connection between me and other people is what makes being transgender beautiful. We all found ourselves in our jungle of discomfort. I hadn't ever really seen a catharsis captured in any form of media though, and that bugged me a bit. There were no movies where I could point to a transgender person on screen and go, this is me. Plenty of movies like that do exist, and have for decades, but until recently, I've been slacking on watching transgender movies. Instead, I found myself in the subtext of other characters who went through a spiritual journey of their own. So when I was digging through Letterboxd and I found I Saw the TV Glow, my curiosity was through the roof. It was a horror movie about two TV show obsessed teens, and apparently it tied into queerness. The trailer was ominous, and I watched it over and over again. I needed to see this movie. I was drawn to it. I felt myself living in the trailer, haunted by the suburbs, my obsession with movies, and the echoes of my own dysphoria. On May 12th, 2024, I took a long train ride to Boston to see the movie, and it made me the most disturbed that piece of media has ever made me.
They did a good job at matching the aesthetic. My goodness.
From the start, I saw the TV glow gets under your skin. The movie opens with a bunch of random noises, an art housey establishing shot, and then a kid watching TV by himself at night. It's this dumb low-budget young adult show, but he's clearly drawn into it. Immediately, we're set up with two of the main focal points of this movie, Owen and his television. But something feels off-putting about it. Like, maybe something's not quite right. Owen is shown being an isolated kid. He doesn't really have friends, and he seems very spaced out. The only time it feels like he's paying attention is when he talks to Maddie about the pink opaque, but he is awkward and nearly fumbles it. He wants to learn more, but he is too afraid to ask. Thankfully, Maddie offers him her episode guide. He ends up coming over for a sleepover to watch it at her house. A detail I love about the pink opaque is that there's arguably nothing inherently supernatural about its existence. The show is analogous to the numerous campy young adult shows of the late 90s and 2000s. The most obvious real-world comparison point is a show like Buffy the Vampire Slayer, particularly Season 1. The monsters are silly and over-the-top, ranging from dancing moon twins to a big ice cream cone. The acting is cheesy, and the characters have eccentric fashion styles. It's a show for teens that deals with issues relevant to them, and allows for them to feel seen. Most importantly, the pink opaque isn't just a cute nod to this era of television.
Okay. You're not getting a thumbnail credit in my videos, EliteAri. That's so sad. Can you credit me instead? Yeah, at the end, as long as the cash keeps coming in. Okay, true. We'll have to find some better or more interesting I Saw the TV Glow videos, okay? Oh my god, it's our video on the homepage.
EliteAri, if you can give me 5.
True. 37 actually made me smile. Let's see.
What do you think about the Jews, EliteAri? Oh,
I don't know.
that's not a good sign. Pretending to fake cough when the Jews...
Alright, okay. The best Chainsaw Man discussion on the internet. True. The image doesn't appear centered and it's really bothering me. I have to tab out to listen to this shit. True. Good job, Kyle. True. Okay. It's more effort to stop the donations than let them keep going. That's probably true. Let me speak. Great timestamp. Okay. Alright. That's that. Thanks for coming, guys. See you next time, which will probably be Friday.